That's $10,000, Connor. Ha ha! Yeah! Yeah! This show is not for sharpshooters. This show is a fucking machine gun. There's no chewy center to this show. It's all hard candy. This show is not a sniper on a fucking roof. This show is a drone taking out a village. Do not invite me into your house because I will come in and I will wreak fucking havoc. Hey, what's happening? Ow. Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Ow. I have a thing, folks. I'm going to share that with you right now. At least I'll tell you. I'm not sharing it with you. I'm just telling you about it. It's not really sharing. It wasn't a secret. If you tell somebody something and it's a secret, then you're sharing with them, correct? But if I just tell you something, fuck, I'm just telling you something. You're sitting there listening. You're taking it in. Your ears are open, and I'm dumping garbage right into them every Thursday morning, folks. That's right. No pod fade on this end. I'm here every goddamn Thursday, as I told this interviewer at the Podfest in Los Angeles, where I am now, in Los Angeles. Folks, I don't know, if you get a map and you look at it and you go, there's Los Angeles, and look at it, if you really squint, guess who's there? Me. I'm waving at you right now. No matter what map you look at, no matter what globe, go on Google Maps. Google Earth me. Oh my God, we got to fucking do that. What if there was Google Earth and they went to this block and it was just me and you waving out a window? That'd be fucking great. We got to do it. Hey, Google, call me. Is that a guy? Is Google a dude? No, there's Jeff Bezos, right? Isn't he the guy who runs it? He's the dude who runs the whole deal. And he's taking over the fucking world. What's he, Amazon or Yahoo?
Amazon.
Who's the Google dude?
The two German.
Fuck, I'm out. Not enter the. You take that, Krauts. What are you doing trying to steal the stuff?
German. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. If they're German, then I'm worried because it's like that's no wonder they're taking over the internet. These four. Oh, I don't like them.
They're Americans.
Are they Americans? Why are you saying they're German and Swedish?
Well, they are.
Hold on. Wait. Are you thinking of pancakes?
Yes, I am.
Because are these Dutch babies? Are you saying the Dutch babies own Google? Big fat pancakes with apples? Because I got to be honest, I don't know how they rose to the top of that hierarchy. That's got to be a weird board meeting. Let's all vote for Jim. I'm sorry. I'm voting for the Dutch baby pancakes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Google has become a monolith run by Dutch baby pancakes. That's fucking amazing. How did it become one of the biggest companies in the world? And if that's true, why are not more breakfast foods being put in charge of more corporations? I don't understand it. Every time I hear somebody losing money, I'm going to go, you know what? Vote in a sausage. Right there. You got to... Why isn't a plate of sausage running your company? Because if you check out Google, I don't know if you know this, Dutch baby pancakes are running the entire fucking operation. It's efficient and delicious. It's efficient and delicious. Although, I guess we wouldn't really know if it was delicious because they're alive. I mean, we can't eat them. We assume that they're delicious. You know what? Maybe the assumption of their deliciousness is what powers the company. That's what it is. Everybody's like, I got to back a company that has delicious people in charge. Because if you go look at anybody, isn't there a chick in charge of fucking Yahoo, right? That's true, right?
Yahoo?
Yeah. And doesn't she just get in trouble because she gets a carload of flowers delivered to her office every day, and not just delivered she actually built a highway that goes into her office where a car pulls in and drops off the flowers. That's the first thing these people do when they get put in charge. They get a big office, they get a gigantic fucking desk, they have a shower put in, and they're like, "Hey, everybody can come to my office because I'm the big shot." You know who didn't do that? Dutch baby pancakes. They didn't do it at all. They sit on a countertop in the fucking kitchen. They're the most unpretentious CEOs in the history of companies. Dutch baby pancakes get made and they sit right there on the fucking countertop and they rule from there. They're just right next to the coffee pot and the can opener. And I'll tell you what, the first interview is always the hardest part because you want to take a huge bite out of them. You want to totally chomp onto them. But then if you can just get through that first interview, they know that you're right for the company and the Dutch baby pancakes sign off. By the way, you must be approved by both Dutch baby pancakes or you are, actually both stacks of Dutch baby pancakes. Are there stacks? Because if there's stacks, that completely changes the game. I got to be honest with you. Because if there was just two Dutch baby pancakes in charge, then it's 2 votes. But if you got 2 stacks of Dutch baby pancakes, first of all, that better be in a huge platter because Dutch baby pancakes are kind of sloppy. And I don't know anybody who could pull away 2 fucking stacks of Dutch baby pancakes other than like one of those fucking professional eater fat dudes. And those guys make me sick, right? Joey Chestnut and the boys. Chestnut doesn't make me sick because he only weighs like $130. Joey Chestnut, he and fucking Kobayashi is like fucking ripped. Kobayashi's like an eating dude, but he's totally ripped. But he would totally, you know what? We can't let Kobayashi get to the Google offices. Listen, seriously, hear me out, folks. Google runs well. It is very efficient. And if somehow Kobayashi or Joey Chestnut got into the offices, everything would go to hell because they would eat both Dutch baby pancakes or both stacks of Dutch baby pancakes, which I got to be honest, I'm not involved. I don't want that because that would mean 8 Dutch baby pancakes. Has the whole board been replaced by Dutch baby pancakes? What's going on over there, Google? Look, if you want to put 2 Dutch baby pancakes in charge of your company, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Powdered sugar on the top, a little caramelized apple. These people make decisions. But if you're going to put stacks, that means 8 of them, and then your whole board is replaced, and eventually all it's going to take is one well-placed professional eater, and your entire company goes tits up. We can't have that. In fact, if I was Bing, you know what I would do if I was Bing? I would say, you know what? You guys got to buy us out. We're giving in to Google. We're surrendering. We just need our CEOs to meet. And then they would say, okay, that's fine. And then I would immediately hire Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi to be my dual CEOs. So then you're like Kobayashi and Chestnut in a room with Dutch baby pancakes. It's over. That's over. Bing owns Google in seconds. Chestnut eats the fucking plates just to prove him a point. It would be like when the mayor of Gotham City had to go meet the leader of the mutants in the prison, and the leader tore out his throat. You can't have that. And then Batman's got to fight Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi. That's fucking awful. Oh, bullshit. Take it back. That's fucking amazing. Actually, I'm for this. Bing, call a truce with Google, and then hire these guys and let them eat the pancakes, and then we see Batman fight Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut. Now look, listen, folks, I know what you're thinking. Just because these guys are professional leaders, that doesn't mean that they can take on Batman. Well, that's where you're wrong. I demand that they have a professional eating/fighting league. That's what they should do. And it should be held instead of like an octagon or a ring, it should be held in a bowl. So these dudes have to eat like 15 pounds of dumplings and then wrestle. Oh my God, that'd be the best. And they have to wrestle until somebody quit, and they're vomiting all over the place, and they're fighting. See, this is where America's going, folks. I am at the cusp. I am at the forefront. If America's the Titanic, I'm on the front holding Leo DiCaprio by the waist, and we are moving forward, goddammit. We're watching dolphins jump in the Arctic. That's right, the fucking Arctic. Why were there dolphins there? I have no fucking idea. By the way, I have no idea the circuitous path that the Titanic took through the waters of America, and so maybe there were dolphins and maybe it was appropriate. I have no idea. All I know is there was an Italian guy there who talked like he was going to go ahead and clock a monkey on the head with a mallet. He wanted to save the princess. He didn't give a fuck about sinking. He's like, I go to America, they save me the princess. Do, 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 do. All right. Yes? You have a question?
No, I have a clarification.
All right, let's hear it.
He's actually Russian.
The Italian guy in Titanic was Russian? Wait a second.
Sergio that runs Google.
Oh, all right.
No Swedish or German, I apologize.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. See, what you're telling me right now, in front of Jesus and everybody, is that Google is run by a bowl of borscht. Seconds ago,
I don't think that's what I said.
seconds ago, because I'll be honest with you, that's actually a safer move. That's a safer move for Google. Because nobody likes fucking borscht. Even Kobayashi and Chestnut aren't going to choke down the borscht. Google is safe. Safe forever. Keep him as your CEO. Borscht to the end. By the way, if borscht to the end is not the name of the show, I don't know my business, folks. Borscht to the end. Yeah, that's right. Actually, we're recording super late. I'm gonna have to take a break in a second and call David and tell him to draw a picture of borscht.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Right.
no kidding. Well, you know when I got to call him, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's gonna be the high side at that point. That's our friend Lily. She's the producer, and then she's gonna hold up a number and go, "Oh, sorry, I'll be at your house soon. I promise."
We just did the whole show. We're done.
Well, yeah, exactly. We've been having these discussions the past few weeks because I'm a psychopath. So we'll be in Lily's house, and she holds up. Did I talk about this on the air already?
Yes.
Did I? All right, good. Did I really?
You've talked about it.
Did I talk about it last week? Because last week was when it was prevalent, when you wanted to basically throw me the fuck out of here because you were pissed.
But that's where you were wrong again.
Whatever.
You're crazy.
I'm not
And
crazy.
what?
Institutionalized. You're the one who's crazy. You're driving me crazy. Oh, a Pepsi. Well, thank you. You can put that away. I don't drink any sodas. No, Mom, okay, I just want a Pepsi. I heard that song the other day. It came on my Sirius radio, and I literally turned it up to like 14, which I know doesn't sound possible, but I actually stopped at Guitar Center while the song was playing, and I asked them to come out and modify my stereo so it went to 14, and they did. All in the amount of, before the song even ended. That's how quick they are at Guitar Center. They actually have a pit crew for stereos. Like you pull up and they come out, then you just drive off on your way. And Mike Muir winks at you from heaven.
Aw.
Oh, he's not dead.
I know.
But
Why
he-
do you say he's dead?
Well, he spends his days in heaven. He works there. He's the bouncer for St. Peter at the gate.
That-
Yeah. He was supposed to fight. I've mentioned that on here. It's again. I want to see Kobayashi and Chestnut fight in a bowl. It was going to be Dave Mustaine from Megadeth and Mike Muir were going to fight on a platform while Slayer was playing at a concert.
Why?
They were touring together. Like Suicidal was working with. They put together one of those package tours, and it was like Megadeth and Suicidal and probably Testament and I think Slayer and somebody else. And then Dave Mustaine's a fucking terrible person. I mean, and you know the guys in Metallica knew it, and then everybody else knew it. And now it's so funny because I always wanted to side with him. I'm like, come on, Dave Mustaine can't be that bad. Because as a guy who has done that and rubbed people the wrong way, I'm just sitting there hoping, well, Dave Mustaine's probably not a bad guy. I hope he's okay. And now isn't he another one of these idiots who wants to go after Obama with a club, like one of those morons?
No.
Some UFC fighter yesterday is like, these idiots just need to shut the fuck up. And by the way, that's the tagline for this podcast. This idiot needs to shut the fuck up. I don't know. Anybody can believe what they want to believe, and that's fine. You can believe what you want to believe, but you don't have to live like a refugee. Where were we before pancakes took over the world, folks? I'm trying to remember. I wanted to tell you this. I'm here at Lily's house, and I come here to record the show, folks, every week, every Wednesday. I show up and I record it. Although that might be an iffy proposition the next few weeks, from what I understand, and I may talk about that later. I may not. I've been advised by counsel that I shouldn't bring it up, but I'm still mulling it over because I'm my own man, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I come here to Lily's house to do the show, and I got here a little late because Lily had a thing with her car, and so that's why we're starting so late, and it's her fault, folks. As always, it is Lily's fault. Well, usually it's my fault. There's no doubt about that. I will accept ownership of it, but this week, oh my Christ, all Lily's fault. Lily Von Stubb. And Lily, I'll talk about that later. All right, so actually, I like that guy. All right, so I'm just gonna make stupid noises like Johnny Dangerous or something. All right. I'm an idiot. It's so great. I'm a huge fan.
Hey, Johnny, I'm not wearing a bra.
That makes two of us.
Oh, God.
Our friend Kevin Duncan who loves this show, loved Johnny Dangerously. I don't know if he loves it, but I called him English on the show, and then he posted on my Facebook wall, Mike Schmidt called me English once, because apparently he's a filthy Scotsman. So, but that's fine. Good for him, wherever he's from. And by the way, and not all Scotsmen are filthy, just Kevin Duncan. All right, so. Although Kevin Duncan last week was like, hey, Mike, I would have paid for that Austin show. I said, really? Did you know there's a donation button on the website? He donated immediately.
Whoa.
But unfortunately, it's in kilts. Nothing I can do with that. That's currency over there, folks. I don't know if you know that. And by the way, let's not talk about kilts. Well, or let's talk about kilts. No, let's not. Let's. All right, I think I will. No, you shouldn't. All right, maybe I will, though. I saw enough kilts over the weekend to just, Kevin Duncan, honestly, I don't know what you do with your life and if you wear a kilt or whatever's happening, but when you come to America, shelve it. Shelve that kilt. Because there are a couple of guys that I know that are good friends, and they're nice, and they're wearing kilts all weekend, and, that's okay on Friday. And then Saturday, you're like, hey, there's dudes in kilts again. And then Sunday, you're like, really? You don't own pants? This is the Lord's Day. He does not want to see your balls. Perhaps he does, though. Maybe that's what we're wrong. Maybe they've got it right. Maybe the Lord is like, dude, I spy your balls. And good, because it's Sunday. It's my day of rest. That's what I want to see on a Sunday, goddammit. Sitting around watching football, I glance over, there's a couple of guys in kilts with their balls hanging out. Boom, done. Now, I'm not going to say their names because that would just cause embarrassment to them. Eric Butterfield, who's our first producer, and our friend Kilt Bill, who wears kilts so often that his nickname is Kilt Bill. And but they were wearing them. And then they were throwing the hammer, which is not good, which sounds dirty, but it's a Scottish Games thing. Kevin Duncan knows. Call him. They wound up throwing the hammer, and then they, what else did they do? Oh, and then they all shot heroin, and then actually, unfortunately, Eric died from toxoplasmosis because he wound up getting hooked on smack because Ren gave him some for free. That's from Trainspotting. That's filmed in Scotland. I watched Trainspotting in a movie theater, and I'll tell you what, I did not want to leave. I loved it so much I wanted to stay for the next showing, except I had a show that night. And believe me, everybody in that crowd would have enjoyed the fact that I stayed behind to watch Trainspotting a second time. But instead, I went to the show and bored them. Where was I? Peoria? I think I was in Peoria. It was me and my buddy Rex, and we went out and I watched Trainspotting. And afterwards, spoiler alert! when they put on their kilts and they showed their balls to everybody. It was the greatest moment in the history of cinema. Those Scotsmen have a lust for life. Hey, kid, you like music? Yeah. Do it. Nah, 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 nah. All right, that's Night Shift. Yeah, kilts. I mean, again, I don't understand it. Maybe I'm a different kind of fella. I enjoy pants. And actually, I don't know if I really enjoy pants. But that seems like a strong word, enjoy pants. Nobody puts on pants and goes, ah. Nobody enjoys pants. I'll sport pants. I don't mind wearing some pants. I don't mind is actually too weak. If I don't enjoy pants, but I also don't mind pants. I wear pants. That's all. I just stated like that. It's just, it doesn't need any more tarting up. I don't need to fucking go here or there with it. It's I like pants. The end. All right? Bullshit. I don't like pants. I wear pants. So I come here today wearing pants. By the way, wearing pants that used to fit, that no longer fit. I had to pull my belt all the way over like 2 more holes. And I am kind of, a little bit, but I'm enjoying it. Someone walked past me this weekend who did not recognize me, which was nice. I enjoyed that. Particularly because then they came back to talk to me and I said, I don't know who you're talking about. That's not me. I am not the droid you're looking for. I'm certainly not the fat droid you're looking for. So yeah, these pants I'm wearing, these are the pants I bought to go and visit the Wheel of Fortune set when I was there visiting and doing whatever I did there, but you'll have to find out later. But I bought these pants, and Lily, is when you were in my house doing my taxes, and I said, I got to go buy pants. And you said, you like pants. And I said, I don't, this is where this debate started, I think, was that day. You said, you like pants. And I said, but I bought these black pants because I had to wear black pants. And then I can't talk about anything that happened. I want to reference stuff that happened that day. But rest assured, something pants related happened that day. But honestly, when you think about your life, isn't everything pants related? Not if you're Eric and Kilt Bill. Although there is a quasi-relationship with not wearing pants. That brings pants into the equation. The fact that you've chosen to wear kilts and not wear pants still indicates you have a relationship with pants. It's just a negative one. See, because I wear pants. It's neither here nor there for me. I just wear pants because that's it. That's what I own, and I wear pants. They, however, have actually consciously decided not to wear pants, which means they're angry with pants. And I pray for them when the pants become sentient and come after us all. Now, when that happens, do you think the pants that come alive and come chasing us, will they try to kill us for having worn them for all these years and enclosed our balls inside of them? Or will those pants just wish to find people who don't wear pants and throw pants on them? Oh my God, what would be the worst death by pants? What if pants came to life and they tackled you and they put themselves on you and they just got super tight and you could never take them off? What do you have to take a shower on pants? Oh my God, terrible. And your whole undercarriage got filthy. Pants know what they're doing. Because pants don't want to strangle you. They want you to die a long, slow death because that's what we do to pants. We put them in they hate the washing machine, by the way, pants. They are not happy. And if they ever learned to talk, they would tell us that. But I can tell. I'll take the pants out and they give you that groan or that look. That kind of like weird, like scants, like your button. You can see the button catches the sun just right, and you can see like a frown in its eye. Because the button is the eye of the pants. Which, by the way, is the worst James Bond movie you will ever see in your life. Oh my God. I enjoyed Dr. No. I didn't mind Octopussy. But the button is the eye of the pants. I did not care for it at all. That Timothy Dalton. He was in The Living Daylights. And the button is the eye of the pants. Is that what that book, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, is about pants who become sentient and go ahead and start killing people abroad? Because they think they should. I'll tell you, the country that wins the arms race with pants is going to win all wars. Whatever country can make pants kill people, then that's it. It's over. Hold on a second. Are pants really going to be that tough without belts? The pants have to get the belts sent to you too, because then they help with the tightening up. Because if pants just climb on you, and it's not going to be like super strong. Although maybe they are. Maybe the pants are super strong. Oh no! And then they squeeze you to death like boa pants, boa constrict pants. Oh, all right. I don't know if I like this. I'm creeping myself out. We're close to Halloween. This is shit I should be writing down. That's what I need to do. Yeah, because that's what I would do. I would have a haunted house where we take your pants off and put other pants on you. Because that would go over great. I'm sure the cops wouldn't come at all. Ooh, scary pants house. Please do us a favor. Remove all belts on the way in. Why? What is it, the TSA? No, trust us. It's for Scary Pants House. Then you tackle them and take their pants off and put fake pants on them. And then we take the other pants. And it's just a pants exchange. Oh my God, I need to open a pants exchange. Bring in 3 pairs of your pants and get a new pair of pants. But not even new. It's just a different pair of pants. I want to deal in old pants. I want to be like, I want to have a fucking, you know what? I need an open air hut at a bazaar in Morocco. And I just said fucking deal in pants. And I'll make pants for camels and pants for people. I'll make all sorts of pants. I'm going to renovate this country. I'm going to fucking revolutionize pants in Morocco. Why Morocco? I shouldn't probably go there. Is Morocco didn't even exist anymore? You know what? It is not. Because if I remember correctly, it was devoured by a Scirocco. Remember that devastating Scirocco in Morocco? By the way, second worst James Bond movie you'll ever see in your life. Oh my God. Roger Moore made Scirocco in Morocco, and he said, no one will ever top it. That's the worst one you'll ever see. And Timothy Dalton said, fuck you. The button is the eye of the pants. Finished. Scirocco in Morocco. You know what that sounds like? The end of a Bullwinkle cartoon. Next time, Scirocco in Morocco. Or the button is the eye of the pants. I love nonsense. All right, so Scirocco in Morocco. That's great. Really, it is. It's not bad. I don't know if it's as good as 2 Dutch baby pancakes running one of the largest corporations in the world, or a haunted house full of sentient pants. I don't know. I can't figure it out, folks. All of these things are grand. They're all terrific. Look, I can't kill my babies. I love them all. And it's funny. So, I was always wondering, like, what I could take on from this to the stage for stand-up. And it's like, if I ever talked about like pants that came to life and strangled you, people just be like, "Why are you here? We want more drinks and somebody to talk about their cock." Hang tight. It's coming. Although I will scare people with filth. I found out there is a limit on your filth factor. You know, I'll tell you this. This makes me laugh. I was going to talk about this a couple months ago, and then I couldn't. It was top secret. And then whatever happened, and I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about it again. And I always had it out here to talk about it. I mean, somehow I missed it. And then the week I remember to talk about it was the week I talked about our friend Stephen Bray. And I'm like, I can't juxtapose these two fucking things. That sounds ridiculous. Hey, by the way, Stephen Bray is dead. But guess what? You know, just ridiculous. But by the way, I will tell you this. Thank you to everyone who wrote condolences or special wishes or everybody cares for our friend Stephen Bray on the Westside 86 Jokers page. I did hear from his sister. She was very nice, and then I heard from his girlfriend Angie, or his previous girlfriend. I don't think they're dating anymore. But she said they're putting together a remembrance of Stephen, and she wanted to know if I would participate in that, and I said absolutely not. So, because why? Why? I've done my part, right? I've done my part. You want people to hear my voice? Play the phone call that I gave him when he was in the hospital. So people know that I care, because I'm a fucking philanthropist. No, charitable causes. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. There it was. I had it the first time. Philanthropist sounds like I gave Stephen money before he died. That just sounds like, isn't that something that funds charity things? Humanitarian, that's who I am. I'm all of those things, folks. So, thank you for reaching out for Stephen. But the thing all right, here's what I'm going to ask you folks. Well, all right, like 6 months ago, I was contacted by a person on Facebook, and I guess I probably say their names at this point. I hope, because their money cleared, so we're fine. Our friend Laura Briggs, who actually was not Laura Briggs at the time, but she was the soon-to-be Mrs. Laura Briggs, wrote me, and she's like, you know what? My husband, as you know, is a huge fan, because they lived in Detroit, and they were excited for me to come to Detroit. And then when I announced the Detroit date, they were moving to Ireland, because he had wanted me to come to Detroit for over 2 years. Like, he'd asked me, he tried to find theaters for me. He really went out of his way. And he's a great friend of the show, and I appreciated that, but we could not find a place. So then when I finally booked a place, he's like, dude, I'm going to fucking Ireland. Like, I won't even be able to see it. And I felt badly about it, but that was that. And so they went to Ireland, and they were going to get married, he and his fiancée, Laura. So Laura wrote me a letter, a Facebook message, and she's like, listen, we're getting married, and this is what I would really like to do for Alex. Now, his name is J. Alexander Briggs, like on Facebook, so I don't know if I'm supposed to just say that, or Alex, or J Alex, J-A-B. Look, you have to have a J-A-B if you want to be with me. That's what Laura said, and he was the first one to step up. For 2 years, she dated J. Arthur Donlin. So close. He said, I have a JAD. Can I be with you? She said, for 2 years until a JAB shows up. And he's like, I'm hoping one doesn't. And she said, I'm hoping one is. A la Briggs, right in the door. Swoops in. Did I talk about this before?
I don't know.
I'm confused because this happened a while ago, and you and I had to talk about it quite a bit. Oh, we didn't have to. I mean, we just did. That's what we would do all the time. We would get together and go, oh, Laura and Alex. And you actually felt bad for J. Arthur Donlin. You were furious that she wound up dumping him because he's a close friend of yours, and he contacted you, and he's like, listen, Lily, you're not going to believe what happened with Laura/Briggs. Because she wasn't Briggs yet at the time. She was Laura, and I'm not going to say her maiden name because I'm not sure if I want this podcast to run longer than 4 hours. So, because it was long, and it had a lot of vowels, and there were vowels next to vowels. I think there may have been an X. There was an umlaut. There was the sign of infinity. It was crazy. That's a long-ass name. You ever, when you get your iPod and your iPhone and you go to type something on it and you hold the wrong button and a bunch of A's with lines on them come over it? That was Laura's name. I thought she invented the iPhone. So Laura wrote me, and she was very nice. She's like, I hope this letter finds you well. Which could have been a lie. Quite frankly, that may have been a lie. That may have been her buttering me up in the beginning. Because I'll be honest, I'm a sucker for anybody who hopes that I'm alive. So she writes, and she's like, hey, dude. Well, she didn't write say, hey, dude. Actually, I wrote her and said that. Actually, I wrote myself and said it was from Laura. Fucking stupid. Shut up. Shut up. Honestly, just fucking talk normal. Stop twisting your brain in on itself and fucking just move forward, right? Shouldn't I just move forward? This show needs to be a shark right now because I want to go eat. I want to fucking eat and it's late. Cheap, cheap, late, late. That's from my act a million years ago. Taco Bell. Because Taco Bell had the dollar meal. I was like, does it bother anybody in this country that, I can't even fucking go into it. Never mind.
No.
Does it bother anybody in this country you can go to Taco Bell and get a taco for a jack of marble and a piece of string? That doesn't bother anyone. Cheap, cheap, late, late. All right, so Karen used to mock me with that. I said, we're going to go eat. Cheap, cheap, late, late. All right. Yes, that's my old act. Terrible. I should just do my whole old act. That's what I'll do for you folks. You know what? I'll tell you this. I may have covered this on the show once. I thought about it this weekend too. I don't know why. Because I used to do this bit when I would work in like small towns. Tell me if I did this because you'll know. You won't know. Fucking Galvin will know, but I can't fucking call him right now. I probably could actually. He'd be up. He's literally he's staring at his phone. Hey, Galvin.
Call him while we're live. Ask.
You know what? I'm gonna fucking do it. That seems ridiculous, but I'm gonna do
You
it.
don't have to put him on speakerphone. We can just hear your side of it. But
All right. Yeah, that's funny. I'll do that. Why not? You know what's not funny too? Anybody listening. But for me, it's fucking hysterical.
I think it's really funny.
Although I run a real risk calling him, but I'm going to call him.
This is
Let's
like
do this.
Radio, and it was like, annoy a listener.
Well, remember last week we were like, hey, you guys call Lily on Wednesday. No, nobody call. I'm calling Rich in the middle of the fucking show. Stupid. All right. He's not going to pick up. Are you kidding me? He's going to pick up immediately. If I asked him to, he would come here with a pizza.
Yes, I'm in. Voicemail?
Again, or dial 611 for customer assistance. Message WA99153.
That guy had a lot of numbers to talk about.
Was he giving another telephone number?
No, he was telling me a message. No, apparently the phone number that I have for Rich Galvin is not good. Well, it's not bad news for me, quite frankly. It's terrible news for Rich Galvin. Because, sir, you were just about to win some concert tickets, and unfortunately that chance is gone by the wayside. Oh, man, I told you guys, sit by your phone and say, Little Schmidty's going to make me rich. I call a listener every week. You know it happens. And then sure enough, I dial you up, and what happens? It's fucking disconnected. Unbelievable. You should be poised right there at your end table, staring at your phone every Wednesday, knowing that eventually I'm going to call. That phone's going to ring, and you're going to have to just answer it and go, Little Schmidty's going to make me rich, and you're going to be showered in Mr. Schmidty merch. That's right, Mr. Schmidty. Little Schmidty's dad will call you.
Who else can we call?
Should we call another listener and see if they answer and say, Little Schmidty's going to make me rich? Sadly, it's sad because I have 1 billion listeners' phone numbers. That's the worst part. But you know what
I was gonna ask them if you told this story.
the worst part about that is that means 1 billion listeners have my fucking phone number. That's not good at all. All right, let's call this listener. Let's see how this will work out.
Really? I was kidding. But this
Oh,
is awesome.
should we? How funny is that? We just start spot random.
Have I told this story before?
I'm gonna find,
Hang up.
I'm gonna find somebody weird, like somebody. Oh,
No, wait, weird, like odd to call that
Yes, absolutely. Someone who would never fucking expect it. Because, like, I honestly think Rich Galvin is sitting at his phone going, oh my God. Every time it rings, he goes, that's Mike Schmidt. It's got to be Mike Schmidt.
I don't think he is because he changed his number.
That's true. He had to get away from me. That's funny. Boy, there's a funny number to go. Look, folks, my phone is filled with all of your names. Who knows? Right now you're sitting there and you're listening going, oh my God, yesterday, how did I miss the phone call? How did I dodge that bullet? Pick a letter.
Are they all listed as listener, Rich Galvin?
Yes, it's under L. Everybody's under L.
Everybody's under L. Pick a letter. K.
K. That's a terrible letter. All right, hold on. Do I have a K? Yes, there's 1, 2.
I get to pick a number.
Wait a minute.
I want number 7.
Oh, Jesus. I can't call this person. Again, that would be so ridiculous.
37. Go back
All right.
37.
Well, let me just say that right now, you dodged a bullet, Ed Cooper, because I was about to call you.
Oh, I was thinking of first names, not last names. You list your phones by last names?
Yes, I do.
Oh, Christ. That means I have to remember people's last names.
Yeah, that's right. That's how it works.
No, they should be under first name.
Who's this person? Oh, my God, look at that name.
List people under last name, first name?
Yes, I do. People's last name. Oh, here's
You're
a.
so wrong.
You know what? Let's give Mark Marin a call. Hello, Mark.
Mark, have I told this story before?
Mark, I got to ask you a question. Now, you barely remember me as it is. Now, actually, I hung out with him at the Podfest. Me, him, and Pardo were in a room together for like 20 minutes. That was fun and interesting. Is it
Did he remember you?
two comedy titans? He was very nice. Yes, he remember me. He actually came up to me. Why it was weird.
Did he say you've lost weight?
Well, he actually, that's funny. He recognized Skinny Me, which seems strange. But no, he was totally cool. And yeah, I mean, he could not have been funnier or nicer. But yeah, he was fairly pleasant.
I don't care about the story you're going after. I still don't know what happened with John Lovitz. And that's the one I want.
Oh, I'll be mentioning that. That'll be coming up. And you know what? As a matter of fact, let's call him. John. Hello, Michael.
Are you Michael or Schmidty?
No, he called me that guy a lot of the time. We'll get there. No, I'm teasing. He called me Mike because that's who I was introduced as, and he was very nice. He's nice. I'll get to it in a second. All right, so, fuck. Now I want to talk about it.
We talked a lot about this couple getting married.
So we did. We had chatted about. Yeah, I'm sorry, Galvin, you weren't there to help me out. But you know what the worst part of this is? He's gonna kill himself. Like he's really, because he's like so into
Please
it.
don't.
Yeah, please. But he really wants to
Already had
help.
The Everybody Cares campaign. That's
Yeah, exactly. Stephen Bray took the death guy slot for this year. When we have the Schmitties and the award show at the end of the year, there's going to be black and white, one photo of Stephen Bray. He gets the applause. That's it. I can't throw up a Galvin photo. But it was funny because I know he's going to take it seriously. He's going to apologize to me. And I'm like, why are you apologizing to me for your phone? I don't keep track of your fucking phone number. It was ridiculous. This is a big mess. Let's take all this out. Let's cut all this out.
He's going to text you his new number. That's what he's going to do.
Oh, no.
Here's my new number.
Jesus. Call me now. Text me. Oh, that's horrible. All right, never mind.
Baby.
Oh, God. All right. So, Rich writes me every week. Rich writes me at least 2, maybe 3 times a week. And he'll send me a Facebook message. And he'll send me something while he's listening to the show. And he'll answer a question. Or he'll say something about what's going on. And then finally, he wrote me. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you. He said something. And I wrote him back. And I go, oh, you've mentioned it 1,000,000 times. And I said, I hope that made you laugh. But he did something. Oh, never mind. I won't get into it. So, a nice guy.
So this couple.
So these people, the Briggses.
These people.
So Laura was like, she wrote me and she said, hey, do me a favor. Here's what I want you to do. We're getting married and Alex loves you and he wanted to see you in Detroit really badly. So I think it would be so cool if you recorded a message for him for his wedding. She said, I would donate to the show and I would do all this, and she went on and on and on. And so I wrote her back and I said, you're extremely nice to ask. Okay. But, you don't need to donate to the show. I can record an audio drop. That's fine. It's nice, and because she told me when she was willing to pay for it and all this different stuff. And I said, I'm happy to do it. And then she's like, oh my God, she goes, that's so good. Would you record a message or are you going to record a toast, like a toast for the wedding? That would be such a surprise for him. And I wrote her, I said, do you really want to make a room of people sit captive to the disembodied voice of the guy Alex likes? I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all. Granted, it's his day and your day, but I think the last thing you want is some jackass from the States bursting in Ireland and saying some nonsense. So I told her, I said, I don't think that makes any sense, but whatever, I'd rather just do a personal message for him because also language is a thing and, I don't want to say anything inappropriate. There's going to be family and people there, so let me know what's up. I said, you know what, actually, maybe I will record the toast thing. Just tell me about language. She's like, oh my God, language is out of the question, but be nice. And So then a package came in the mail. She sent me money. She sent me a Guinness chocolate bar from Ireland, which, by the way, I did eat, and it was disgusting. It was fucking... She was really... And I wrote her in the mail, like, oh, so delicious. Nope, awful. Really just fucking gross. It just... Because I'm not a beer guy. And so that's their thing, is it's like Guinness. Well, I thought maybe the hint of Guinness. No, man, it just tasted like Guinness with a... Somebody waved a Hershey's Kiss over a glass of Guinness. That's what it tasted like to me. It was fucking disgusting. Because I don't like... I can taste beer and hops and all that kind of nonsense. It's funny, at my work, they have a bacon Guinness chocolate cake. And I'm like, that's two things too much. Chocolate cake works. You know what? Have you had chocolate cake? I'll quote Greg Barrett. It's a miracle. Chocolate cake is a miracle. You don't need to tart it up. Nobody needs to whore out a fucking chocolate cake. You get a chocolate cake, you put a nice hole in the center, boom, you've got a fucking dessert. So, well, depending on how you put the hole in the center. Ha, 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 bananas, all right, we all get that. So, I hear a story about that, but I'll tell you another time. So the bacon chocolate bar, or the Guinness chocolate bar, fucking horrendous. But the donation was very nice. It was very nice for her to send that. And she also invited us to the wedding. She invited Lily and I to the wedding, and which I unfortunately had to turn down because it was in Ireland and because I don't like those people. So by those people I mean the Briggses. I don't mean the Irish. I meant that to be a joke about how I didn't like Alex and Laura, but it came out like I didn't like the Irish. And that's like fucking ridiculous. I'm half Irish. I mean, look, I hate me, but I hate the German half. I love the Irish half. It's fucking awesome. I almost bought a Fight Me I'm Irish shirt. Literally. Like it was so stupid. I was online and I saw it and I'm like, I actually like that. That's like really kind of interesting and hipsterish, like that shirt for me. And I'm like, you can't get a Fight Me I'm Irish shirt. You know why? Because people will. They absolutely will. I'll be anywhere there's beer served and someone will take a poke at me. And I'll be like, really? Oh, your shirt said so. Ha ha. Do you always listen to my shirt? Now, pants, that would be a different story. If the pants said fight me, I'm Irish, I'm in. Let's do this. Let's dance. Let's dance, pants. Have a pants off, dance off. What was that, VH1, right? They would dance off and then their pants would come off.
Yeah.
All right. So, by the way, I just explained the concept of the dance off, pants off thusly. They would dance off and then their pants would come off. That's the log line for the show. That's what they pitched at VH1, and VH1 said yes. All right. Well, or was it on Much? Was it on Much Music? Was it on G4?
Didn't their pants come off first?
And then it... Oh, like they had their pants off and then there was a dance off.
Yeah.
Holy God.
They danced in their underwear. I think that was the thing.
I'm going to call Rich. Hold on. Rich. Buddy. Sorry to bother you again.
I keep thinking he's going to call you hearing this right now.
No kidding. Well, he's so mad. He's going to be so mad because I actually have his wife's cell phone too. And he's going, why the fuck didn't you call Kristen? He's going to be so furious.
I'll text her. And see
You know what I should do? I should call Kristen and she's going to be, you want to talk to Rich? No. No, we called for you, Kristen. Here's a question. Little Schmidty's going to make me rich. You win. Little Schmidty can't make himself rich. All right. So they're in Ireland and they sent me a package and it's exciting. So I told Lily we had to make this recording. And then I said, you know what? Fuck this. Let's make like 9 recordings. So what do we want to make it? 3? I recorded, because you know what we did? We opened it like a real podcast with the theme music and stuff. And then I came in and said, hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy podcast for Alex. And then I did essentially a podcast just for Alex. And I sent it to him. And then, because we figured why not, we did toasts for the wedding. And it was just as terrible as you would think it was. We should include them in here. We should put them in here so people could hear them. All right, everybody, put your potatoes down and grab your drinks.
it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. All right. So I slurred the Irish in my toasts, just hoping it would just, because I don't even know if they played them. I have no idea if they did. If they did, I absolutely want to see the video of it just to see the puzzled faces of the cabbage eaters who live over there in fucking Ireland. Furious. Can't believe, who was this blimey bloke? I don't know who that was, by the way. It's certainly not the Irish. They had an English guy at their wedding. You know what? They invited Kevin Duncan. Fuck you twice.
I'll go home.
Actually, thrice. Because I called him English online. Haha. Again. All right, so. I'm just talking about, let's call Kevin Duncan. Let's call him in England. Hello, you blimey bloke. Hello. All right, so. I'll never hear that word the same again. So, folks, so I sent them what was the point of bring this up? Because then she wrote me and she was like, it was an amazing time and she was so happy and he was really excited and everything was cool. Is that really the end of it? Was there more?
I don't know.
Why did I want to tell people about this?
I don't know.
Because it popped into my head and I hadn't.
Cleared. I don't know.
It wasn't a check. I think she sent me Irish cash. She did.
Potatoes?
There was a picture of Mary McCheese right on it. Actually, she sent me a pot of gold with a leprechaun. That's what I had to do. I had to take that in. She sent me 100 orange clovers, or no, green clovers, or blue diamonds, or purple horseshoes. Purple horseshoes. That's my Irish cop who likes cereal. It's a character I've been working on for centuries. Oh, you know what? Here's the Irish cop who likes cereal. Yellow hearts. All right, so. Orange stars, green clovers, blue diamonds, and purple horseshoes. He's an Irish pirate. He's an Irish pirate. He's a pirate shit. Terrible. So terrible.
That was horrible.
Yes, it was. Look, folks, I'm talking in circles. What do you want from me?
Oh, Christ.
It's not a script. So there you go. There was those people. And I feel bad because, I wanted to talk about that because they did that. It was a really cool thing and I didn't mention it. Just like I want to do this now. I talked about Austin last week and I got discombobulated because normally I do a full show. So I sit there and I tell you all the stuff that happened. I kind of go blow by blow and I tell you all the stuff. But then in my head, I'm like, oh, well, I covered it all on stage. So that's covered in the actual live thing. And then I had to come back and tell you about the bed bugs and all that nonsense. And by that time, we were like 9 hours in. So I was like, well, I'll just let it lie there. But I didn't even get to talk about the stuff we did after the show in Austin, which was totally cool. Because, the best part of going to these shows is when fans come out and they're really nice. And they meet me and everybody's sweet and they bring things and they're cool. Our friend Jeff brought me the Wildlife soundtrack that I talked about on here, where Eddie Van Halen, he has a couple of songs on there, and then there's In the Metal of the Night, which is a song by Hanover Fist, which is a fucking great metal song. But he brought me that, and he brought me the Wildlife on DVD, and I was like, dude, sweet, because apparently I'm in Dude, Where's My Car? So he came in and I met him first, and he brought stuff, and then afterwards I met people and they bought things. Jen, who she folded all the T-shirts and handed them out and took the money. It was so weird. She made herself my assistant, which was so cool. But at the same time, I felt awful that she was behind me doing that when she should be out mingling or doing whatever. But she wanted to do it. That's her thing. That's her default position, is helping people. So she did, and that was great. I met our friend Jill Davis from Texas, who was really nice to me and then ran away. I think I actually saw her sprint for the door. It was so crazy. And then we have a mutual friend named Mark who actually turned her on to the show. My friend Mark Young, who was bamboozled by Mav Weber, as you'll know from year 1 or year 2. Mav Weber. Mark Young and I are friends, and so he introduced his friend Jill Davis in Texas to the show, and then she started listening to it, and then she won a download set from us or something, and then so she devoured that, and then she bought the rest, and then now she's all caught up, she Breaking Bad at it, she Netflixed me, and she just got me and just watched everything and listened to everything.
Dirty and painful.
Yeah, it does. It's really actually very soothing to get Netflixed. But then she kept writing me. She's like, I'm bringing my CD. I can't wait for you to sign it. Or no, I'm not bringing my CD. She goes, I want to buy the CD there because I want you to hand it from me from in your hand to my hand. I want to make sure it's official, whatever. And I'm like, okay, great. So she saw me sign it. I handed it to her. She's like, thanks. Sprints out the door, gone. And I was like, so then Mark wrote me and he's like, you were really nice to Jill. Thank you, man. You're a class act. And I'm like, well, hey, why wouldn't I be? I'm not a jag-off to everybody. How rude would that be? Hey, fuck you. It's just that she came to a show. She's nice. But also at the same time, I said to Mark, yeah, but she ran away. I don't know why she bailed. And then I get a text from her, and she's going, hey, Mark said you're wondering why I left the show so fast. No, I wasn't at all. We were making conversation. I'm not playing telephone with you and Mark. Mark's like, what is he, a 50-year-old woman? He has to immediately run and fucking tell her something? Jesus Christ, Mark's throttle down. But sure enough, he's like, oh, yeah, Mike wanted to know why you left so fast. And then she gets me, and she's like, yeah, he said he wanted to know why. No, I didn't. I did not care. I did not care, but I was like, fucking you, go. I don't care. I do care. Fuck. But then she explained, she was very nice, and she said she was nervous meeting me, and that was okay. And I was, no, well, that's nice. Meanwhile, I'm calling Rich Galvin at home. So I met Jill, and then I met a bunch of cool people. Our friend Mary Beth Kirk was there. I talk about Mary Beth on here. Mary Beth bought a CD from me, and I fucked her name up. and I made an asterisk when or my signature or whatever. And so then I sent her a new one. I sent her a regular one because I never sent that one out. And the next day after she heard the show, she wrote me. She goes, "I have to buy that one." She bought it. She bought the one with the mistake on it.
Screwed up.
Yeah. She's like, "I have to have the one with the mistake on it." Okay. Believe me, I give my mistakes away for free every goddamn week. I'm happy to go ahead and take some money for one for once. But she showed up and she was real cool. And then I met people with their sons and people there with kids, and it was just great. And then after the show, I went out with Trey Fuentes, and then Arian came out. Our friend Arian went out, and the Waltzes were in town. Kendall and John, they had come to town from Kansas. They flew in for the show. John has cancer. Hopped on a plane to come and see me in Texas. And that's dangerous because, they sense that if you're weak in Texas, they'll take you down. The humans there are like coyotes. They might be. They travel in packs. I know they travel in packs. I was there. You can't argue with me. I was there. When was the last time you were in Texas?
Been a while.
Yeah, see? They're traveling in packs now. Now. It just happened. There was a ruling. They look around for women who need abortions and they tackle them and make them have their baby. They actually hold them down on the lawn until they have their baby.
Oh my God.
They don't want abortions in that place. That's why they've got these abort packs rolling around. All right. Abort packs? That was all I could come up with in the moment?
I like abort pack.
What about Hanger Brigade? I could have gone with that.
Oh.
But no, actually, because they're against it. They're against it. They're the birth brigade. But there's a hanger gang out there. There's a hanger gang. These guys want to give you abortions. They're fighting against the fucking birth brigade because there's packs of birth brigaders in Texas, and they will tackle a pregnant woman and hold her down so she can have her baby. But then the hanger gang comes swooping in, and it's a big fight, and they're just trying to get the hanger in there and fucking end the business. All right, so it's not good, but that's why you shouldn't be in Texas unless you're flying to town for a show for a day, which I did, and luckily my friend Jen was there. She fought them off because we had to drive through them. They were surrounding the car. It was like Escape from New York. So you know what's funny? I do great in Texas. Like I've been in Austin twice. I've been in San Antonio. I did shows in Houston at the Laugh Stop a million years ago. Those were good. Those were not good, actually. What? Hey, that's what I was going to say. I forgot to do this. I should move to Texas. The bit I used to open my show with when I would play in small towns, I would because you'd be on the road driving, and so you think, of course, while you're driving, you're thinking of bits and things. And this is what I would go and say. I swear, this is what I was going to call Rich about. Remember? I don't know if I ever did this bit, but I would be on stage and I'd go, "Oh man," I said, it's crazy driving here because we can't just fly here. So we have to drive to these gigs. And I was in Sioux City yesterday, and now here we are in Iowa City. And it's weird doubling back, and you're just driving in these miles of roads, and it's just flat, and there's corn, and you wind up thinking about things. And you see a house, and then you don't see another house for like 10 miles. You don't see another house for like 10 miles. And eventually you just pull off, and you go to one of those houses, and you break in the middle of the night, and you kill everybody in the fucking house. And you cut them up and you leave them in pieces, and then you reassemble them just in case somebody wants to come along and think that it's some sort of ritual, but it's not. You only did it to throw them off the trail. And then you take the blood and you smear it all over yourself, and you go out in the yard and you dance around naked because blood looks black in the moonlight. It's fucking beautiful. It's so beautiful, folks. This is what I would open with. And there would just be people just like not laughing. And I would go, "All right, maybe you don't do the same things I do. What do you do for fun in Iowa?" Like literally it was like that ridiculous transition. I would decide what to say. I would either do that, or I would say, "So that was out loud. That was probably out loud, right?" Yeah. But I would say, my favorite one was when I would go, "So, all right, so we don't share a lot of the same interests. What do you guys do for fun in Iowa?" But I just mentioned stopping because I said the farmhouses, and I would talk about disconnecting the phone, and I would cut the lines first, and I would describe an entire scenario of killing an entire family in a house, and then dancing in the moonlight with their blood all over me because it was black, and black. It was so beautiful. It was just with and red in the house and then black outside, and the contrast, and I would do it for 4 minutes. Like I would go on and on. 4 of my 30 minutes, and it's a wonder why they didn't like me. It's a wonder why I worried about doing my middle act all over the fucking country. God damn it. It's like when I opened at the Laugh Factory the week Michael Jordan's dad was killed and he retired, and I made a Michael Jordan's dad joke, and they wanted to murder me. That was the week I met Brian Noonan. Brian Noonan and I were working with Diana Limo, and Noonan, he was just like, "Why are you doing that?" Like he couldn't understand why I would even do it. And I thought about it later, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're a dumb fuck. Why are you doing that? Why are you creating shit to swim out of right in the opening of the fucking thing? People are here to laugh, idiot." But I always like that. I always like that punch. But that was the thing. I would talk about going from house to house every 10 miles. And actually, finally, I pulled over one of those houses and I killed everybody, cut the phone line, whatever the fuck. All right. So, I'm great, folks. I'm really funny. Who else was in Texas? Our friend Jeannie was there. Jeannie was the she came out. She actually bought like a ton of artwork from us, and she was very nice. And Jeannie was with a guy who could. I think he's. You know who Mr. Sardonicus is? It's a movie about a guy who has a permanent grin on his face. She was with Mr. Sardonicus. This guy could not stop smiling. I mean, he was just he was. I don't know if he just found me to be so enchanting, which could possibly be true because I am that, folks. But he was a good-looking guy, and he had big, like, thick forearms and stuff. And I'm like, wow, this is a man's man. But he could not stop grinning. It was awesome. And then Jeannie was really sweet and really nice, and she went ahead and bought a CD, and I signed that to her. And I told her she had bought all this artwork before. And then Jeannie wrote me an email afterwards that I have not answered. Hey, Jeannie, I will answer that email soon. I'm just deciding what to say. But I'll write it because that's what I do with all of your emails. If you're wondering why I don't answer them right away, I read them and then I craft a response in my head. I go out and I drive about 10 miles and I pass a house, and then I drive another 10 miles and I pass a house, and then I stop into those people's house and I give, hey, what if I bounce these off you? These can be my email responses, and then I kill them. I couldn't kill anybody. I could never kill anybody. I just don't think I could have it. I mean, not on purpose. On accident. Fuck yeah, someone's going down. Yeah. On accident, someone's getting fucking murdered. But live, not happening. Or on purpose, not happening. Live? What does that mean? Live. I can kill someone on tape? All right, so. The bees. All right, so, folks. That's a weird placeholder. So Jeannie was there, and then William Durham was there. Our friend William Durham. Do you know what William Durham is? Here's what William Durham is. William Durham is a modern-day Paul Bunyan. That's right. Because William Durham listens to my show, and he's listened to it forever. And on his Facebook page, like, he wrote me one time, and he's like, check out this thing on my Facebook page. So I went and looked at it, and so then I read the rest of his page, of course. And he's a talented writer, I think, but he's relaying real things that happen, but he relates them in an interesting way. But they're real things that have happened to him. So, but you'll read them on his page, but you can't believe them. Like, nobody believes them. That's the problem. Is he told me when he saw me live, he's like, dude, all these things happen to me, and then I hear your show and everybody believes you, but nobody believes me when my stuff happens. And I'm like, well, because I'm talented, William. And he's like, of course, yes, that's why. But you'll go to his page and it'll be like, I was out throwing knives in the backyard and the Harlem Globetrotters van broke down outside. I mean, and you're just like, what? What the fuck was that? But it probably really happened. He doesn't have any photographs of it. And then his friends will chime in and be like, what? And he's like, never mind. And that's the thing, is he never wants to explain his stuff. Like, shitty stuff will happen to him. And he's like, I was attacked by a rabbit today. Well, all right. Well, that seems odd and terrible. Why didn't you throw some of those knives at him, or did the Globetrotters steal them? So when we actually went out for pizza in Texas, and every time he would say something, no matter what he would say, and I'd go, yes, and then a gigantic tiger leaped from the hedges and you fought it to the death. Bah, that never happened. And the best part is we all wound up doing it. Like, I think John Waltz did it. We all just... no, but it was fun because now William's part of the club. The Hey, Mike Schmidt's a dick club. You guys know that club. We've all been in that club. I've been in that club for 46 years. So that was it. I met all those people in Texas, and I wanted to mention them because they were so nice, and they came out and they stood in line and they bought merch, and they were really cool. And if I've forgotten anybody, I apologize, because it's been a week. I should have written your names down and all that sort of stuff. But it was nice of you all to come out, and thank you for buying merch and hanging out and being I would say be my friend, but that was the dumbest thing in the fucking world. Because what's that from? Thank you for being my friend. That was a comedian close.
Up and down the road again.
No, it's not a song. It was a comedian who said it. Thank you all for being my friend.
Thank you for being a friend.
Well,
it was the family.
Yes, that's a song, but there was a comedian who said at the end, thank you all for being my friends. Was it Emo? It's Emo. Emo does it. And I don't want to fucking gank Emo. He was a fucking genius. I worked with him in Kentucky. He said Emo's a fucking genius. Is. Yes. I said Emos because it ran together. Yeah. No, he's the fucking man. And I worked with him in Kentucky, and he was so nice and so cool and so hilarious. I would watch him every night. And I don't do that. I found myself at Podfest watching comics and just going, man, again, same thing where I was at the Improv. I would say I'm going to get that spark where I'm going to go back and do it. But I need chops. I need material, folks. You can't just go on stage with pancakes and pants. What? You think I could? No, I could not. You heard what I'm bringing to the stage. I'm killing families every 10 miles.
I want to steal that. That's fucking
Oh, you can take it. Go right ahead. I don't care. I'm not using it. Believe me. I hope you have better luck with it than I did, because I would just get glassy-eyed stares from everybody. So folks, let's just do this. Let's talk about this now. I did the Los Angeles Podcast Festival last week. You're right. I know. I'm shocked as well. I was stunned to be asked back. But I went back. They were very nice. They asked me. It was last week. And a lot of you fine folks were there as well. You know who you are. And I'll probably talk to you about you soon enough. You'll get mentioned because that's what I'm doing. Apparently it's Romper Room this week. I see Andrew and Jeff and Kinetic Distortion. That's a guy. I don't know if he wants me to say his full name, his real name, because he has a fake name on Facebook. His name is Kinetic Distortion. But then he introduced himself to me, and I went, Kinetic Distortion! And he goes, you can call me this, like what his real name is. And I was like, all right. That takes I like Kinetic Distortion a lot better. That's awesome. Like, you should wear a cape. He should run around and just have a cape on and be, I'm Kinetic Distortion. That'd be fucking amazing, right? Instead of Lou, whatever the fuck his name was.
Should he have pants on?
Fuck no, pants. Out. Pants are out. Kilt. Go ahead and put on a Kiltnetic Distortion. How perfect is that? Dude, you are totally Kiltnetic Distortion now. I've knighted you. Get on one knee. I take one microphone on one shoulder, one microphone on the other shoulder, and boom, you are Kiltnetic Distortion. So I go to the podcast festival. The show was, I had to be there Friday. My show was Saturday, but I get there Friday for the, because they had to drop off merch and to be sold to people who are nice, who want to buy things. And so I show up. And I will tell you this, folks. As bad as I am at answering emails from all of you, for some reason this year, and I don't know why I did it, I can't explain it. Well, I've been busy with work, and I've been busy with other things, but not too busy to do this. I didn't answer one email from the podcast festival. That includes the guy who wanted to tape my show. That includes the guy who wanted to run the merch. So I'm like, well, I better write these dudes, right? Like literally the day before, I better write them. Actually, Jeff, who runs the audio, wrote me on Tuesday before the podcast festival, and I was like, fuck, I better answer that. So I told him what I wanted. I go, look, he's like, what do you need in the room? What do you need? Because we're going to tape the show just like we did last year. I said, here's the things I want in the room. All right, this is all I need from you. I need a microphone with a round base. I go, seriously, those tripods are garbage. That's all I need is a microphone with a round base. And two, please, if we could mic the crowd, that would be great. Because last year's show went great, but it was in a smaller room. But I would have preferred to have more microphones on the crowd. It would sound better because, I might sell this. Who knows how it's going to work out. But at the same time, it's a bigger room, so I'd like to get a microphone. And he wrote me back, said, no problem. We'll go ahead and take care of the audio. He goes, I will tell them what you need on stage, and I will take care of I will try to do what I can to get microphones in the crowd. I said, great. So that was my email to him. And then I got another email. They're like, we must have a high-res logo for your show that will be on the television monitor while you're on stage. And they sent that in August. And then I said, hey, I better get them a high-res logo so they can have that when I'm on stage. So I then sent them the logo. I said, here you go. There's the logo for the show. And they wrote back, thanks. We really needed this. Awesome. And then I showed up to do the merch, and I had not written the merch guy. And it said, you must answer this note by September 27th. So October 3rd, I sat down to write him a note. And I wanted to download, you had to fill out this form, all these forms of what you had and what you were bringing. My printer broke at my house. So the night before I had to take it, I could not download it. Plus, I couldn't type on the document. Like, I downloaded the document, I tried to type. And so instead, I made an itemized list of what I was bringing. So on Friday the 4th, I got up. I was square. I was ready to go. I headed off to Delphina, which is the hotel where the thing was. And I walked in, and I didn't see anybody really. And then I saw Eric's kilt lurking in the distance, and I was like, well, Eric's here. And the weird thing is, Eric he has a kilt. He rides a motorcycle. That is just balls in the wind, right? Isn't that what you're doing? Which is, by the way, a terrible Kansas song. I close my legs. All right, so how terrible is that? Who the fuck am I now? Weird Al? No, I'm not. I'd be much more successful. That guy's super successful, Weird Al. And a Twitter genius, apparently, from what I've heard from the people who follow him. He's a Twitter machine. So I see Eric, and I walk in with my merch, and I go upstairs, and there was Angelo, the really nice guy, and I said, Angelo, I couldn't print out your stuff. I apologize, but I brought an itemized list, and he could not have been nicer. He took my shirts. He took my CDs. He said, great, I'll take this out squared away. Do you know how many you have? Yes, here's the list. And then I walked over to talk to Dave Anthony and Chris Mancini, who were standing there, and they were talking numbers, and I didn't want to interfere in their number talk, so I just said hello. And I went and got my laminate, and then I decided to hang out. There was a pool party at 5 o'clock. Now, that was my favorite part of last year. A meet and greet pool party for the Kickstarter VIPs. Well, this year, it wasn't just for Kickstarter VIPs because they did not do a Kickstarter. It was just a festival. And it was a party and a perk, and anybody could go. So I was like, this is going to be awesome. So around 5 o'clock, I went out to the pool. was about 5 after. And I show up out there, and some nice people who were there last year, our friends Mary and Barry and Jane, who came from Rhode Island. They were there last year. I had goat with those people. And then this year, I was not having goat with them. Absolutely not. It was not happening because that goat was tough, if you recall. So they come out to the pool, and I'm there. And then Jackie Cation shows up with her friend Steve. And then Paul Gilmartin shows up. And he comes out, and then so it's Paul Gilmartin, and then also Heidi and Suzanne and Mel and Raquel, who were our friends. They're friends of our show from Indianapolis. They came and saw me in Indiana, and then they're Heidi was here for the first ever live Never Not Funny. She's that fan. She's totally awesome. I stayed at her house. She has the Buffett room. Fuck. Which I'm not a fan of Buffett room, and I may have gotten the bed bugs from her house. She said that to me. She's like, she goes, I burned the sheets. Like I was so freaked out that you might have gotten them for me or that you might have brought them to my house. And I'm like, I don't blame you. Clean that room out. This is the room with the tanning bed in it. I'm just like, oh, whatever. Actually, you know what? My Podfest started Thursday night because we all went to sushi when we were there. And then she took a photo of me with my friend Suzanne and she put it on Facebook. And everybody's like, she's not on your right-hand side. And I said, which I knew would happen because we discussed it beforehand. I go, well, you got to be on my right. And I go, but I'm sitting here. I go, I'm not getting up in a crowded restaurant. I'm not a crazy person, so we're fine. So she took the photo and she put it up on Facebook. And I was happy because I look fucking great in it. Mainly because Suzanne is next to me. That's why I look so good. Because all you can do is look at Suzanne and not even look at me. I'm not even in the photo as far as you're concerned. So I went to sushi at Katsuya for them, hung out with them. Friday I went to that pool party. All of us were outside at the pool. It's about 5:20. And we're the only people at the pool for the pool party. Now, it was announced late in the day, or late in the game, I should say. It was announced that week. But I thought people would have gotten an email or something. But we're out there, and we're having a good time. But there's no food. They weren't bringing anything out to us. And Dave Anthony comes out. He's one of the festival organizers. And he goes, hey, did they bring any food out to you guys yet? And we said, no. And he goes, oh, man, what's going on out here? And we go, we don't know. So then Dave Anthony leaves. And we sit there for another 15 minutes. And then I hear laughing. Like really loud, gregarious laughing, like a crowd. And I go, hold on a second, listen. And you hear like rumblings, and it sounds not unlike a party, folks. So Barry goes, you want me to go scout it out? I go, yeah, go ahead, be a scout. Go climb a fence. So Barry leaves. And then he comes back, and he has a camera, and he goes, here, take a look at this. And he shows me his lens of his camera, or not the lens, you take a picture and you can show it on the camera. Okay, screen. And I look at it, and I can't read it because I'm an old man. I go, Barry, what does it say? I have no idea. He goes, it says the party is in this room right here. And he goes, and he points. And so the party is going on, but it's not by the pool. It's away from the pool in a different fucking room. So I look at everybody and I'm like, well, are we going over there? We have to go over there, right? Yes, we do. So we all get up and we all move over en masse. And then that's where I met Jeff and Kinetic Distortion as they were on their way out of the party. And then I walk into the party and who do you think's in there? Dave Anthony, dancing on the bar like it's Coyote Ugly. Having the best time in the fucking world, and we walk in and he sees us and he goes, sorry guys. Like that was it. Sorry guys. He knew all of us were over by the pool. He did not come back to get us. He just decided to stick around and have a good time. Well, he forgot. Because again, he's an organizer. He's trying to make sure everybody's having a good time. He just forgot.
Organizer should organize it by coming out and saying, hey, you guys should go over there.
Listen, he forgot that there were 17 people by the pool.
He's a douche.
We were even joined by two random women from Vancouver who had driven from Vancouver for the podcast festival. Yeah. And I felt bad for them because they're out there with me and Jackie Cation and Paul Gilmartin, and they don't know any of us. They're like, we drove all the way, and these are the only people at the party? What the fuck? But they were very nice, and they assimilated well. So we go over to the other party. There's Dave. He's having a good time. And I walk in, and it was so cool to see a bunch of people, like our friends Steve and Val were there from Iowa. And all sorts of people were there. I saw Tom Hensley, who runs the Scoreboard podcast. And of course, the Kilt brothers were there, Kilt Bill and Eric, as they were walking around showing everybody their knees, which seems strange. And I'm walking around meeting people, because that's what you do. And that's what I really wanted to do, is meet people to listen to the show. And I'm always amazed because there are people who don't want to come up to me. Like, they'll see me and they're like, oh, I didn't want to bother you. Just bother me. Are you fucking kidding me? That's why I'm here. I'm here to be bothered, goddammit. So I went over to talk to Eric and Bill, and they were talking to a woman who was there, a tiny woman, and they introduced me. They're like, Mike, this is Alice, and I said, oh, hey, hi, and she opened her mouth, and she was from Australia, and had this amazing lilting voice, and so we started to talk, and the four of us were talking, and I knew right away that she was different. Because she's in the X-Men. That's what it sounded like. It was the weirdest. There was I knew she was different. She was different than all of us. She had powers that you and I could not comprehend. Um, no, she was just. She's a comedian from Australia, and we started talking, and she and I, and Eric and Bill, and it's kind of a four-way conversation. But then I start to fall into talking to her, and look, I love Eric and Bill. I'm not saying it in a mean way, but she and I started to kind of play ping pong a little bit, comedy stuff like back and forth. And she threw something out and I caught it, and then I served it back and she caught it. My favorite one was I was saying something about that, and I said, I go, it's actually a little pedantic to think like that. And she goes, it's pronounced pedantic, which in itself is being pedantic. And my favorite part was that I just went, I just looked at her and I go, nice. And she made like this bashful face and looked down, which to me was even funnier because it meant like, because I got her a little bit, and believe me, she is not to be gotten. I mean, she is like crazy smart. Anyway, so that was great. It proved a little bit that I could hang. You know what I mean? I felt good about it. It's like when it's like when I'm talking to Jimmy or someone like that, or with my friends, and it's just magic. It's going back and forth. So that was happening, and it was fun. And so I talked to her and them for a while, and then party started to kind of break up because the shows were about to start. And I asked her where she was going. She wanted to go see Mark Maron because she was not in a podcast. She doesn't have a podcast. She wasn't there to be a guest. She was literally in town to do some gigs, and then decided to come to the podcast festival. And I think she's a huge Mark Maron fan, so she definitely wanted to see that. And he was the first show of the festival. So I said goodbye. She left, and I hung out. And I was going to go see Mark. I was thinking about it. And I was like, and then I was approached by two people. They were so nice because they said they didn't want to bother me, and they walked up. It was Jolene and Dr. Mike in town from the Return to Sender podcast, which I've talked about on here before. You remember our good friend Sandra D. Sanchez up in Canada. Genius. Me with a vagina. But she's up there, and they're a part of the show. They do a medical segment, because Jolene is an acupuncturist, a soon-to-be licensed acupuncturist. Right now, she's just an amateur. She stabbed me with a fork. All right, so, and then Dr. Mike is actually legitimately Dr. Mike. So they came over and they wanted to talk, and we were having a good time chatting. And I said, hey, look, Maron's about to start here, and Jolene was nice enough. She goes, I'm doing this. This is what I came here to do, was to meet you, and so if we can just talk, that'd be great. I said, that's nice. I said, okay, great. So I hung out with them. And we talked outside for, it seemed like 45 minutes or so. And then they said, do you want to go eat or go talk inside, or you want to do something? And I said, yeah, whatever you want to do. So the restaurant in the hotel for some reason was closed. So they were like, you can eat downstairs by the bar, which had like cranking music and baseball games and people drinking. And I was like, we're not going to get any talking done here. As you know, I hate that. I hate going to loud places. So I said, well, we can't talk here. And then Mike's like, well, no, it's okay. And we found a table, and it was really loud. And I was keeping quiet. And then we sat down, and finally I went, let's get the fuck out of here. They go, what? And I go, I can't, we're not going to talk here. It's ridiculous. So we did. We went off campus, and this is going to be fucking ridiculous. We left. The hotel was a mile from Travis Barbecue in Venice. So we went there, where I work. I was like, let's go there. It's good food. And so we went. We hung out. We got dinner. Talked to Jolene and Mike. And I felt bad, too, because I didn't know like what their deal was. I didn't know if they were seeing each other or not, or if they were married, or I had no fucking clue. I just know it's Dr. Mike and Jolene. That's it. So Jolene actually excused herself and went to the restroom, and I looked at Dr. Mike, and I forget when you talk to real people. I go, hey, I'm not cock-blocking you in some weird way, am I? And he just looks at me, and I was like, in my head immediately, I'm like, I regretted asking it. It was the dumbest thing in the fucking world. So, that's fine. Everything was fine after that. They met Lenny because Lenny was there. And so now Lenny exists as a person to people who are in this universe, which seems strange. And then we went back to the hotel. And then I found out that Mark Maron had Pardo on. He wasn't scheduled to be a guest. So I was happy to spend time with Jolene and Mike, but I mean, fuck, God, I would have loved to have been there in that room for that. I'll hear it live, but still, to be there live would have been a completely different thing. And so I go upstairs. I'm talking to Pardo because he had done Keith and the Girl and Caleb Bacon show. He wound up doing 3 shows in a fucking hour. So he and I are hanging out and talking. We're talking to Pat because we're just killing time before Rock Solid happens. And then Alice comes out, and she and I start talking. I think I introduced her to Jimmy. And people were coming up and talking to her. Because I will say this, she made herself very known. Like she introduced herself to virtually everybody and was really friendly and nice and talking to everyone. She was inquisitive and wanted to know about people. But people were coming up to her and talking to her and then I find out, I said, well, what happened? And she said, apparently Mark Maron pulled her out of the audience and decided to talk to her. And they had a conversation on his podcast. So, I mean, I'll look forward to hearing that too. But the thing is, she was, she even said to me when we were down at the, at the bar, at the meet and greet, she had mentioned that, she goes, I'm actually kind of happy that I don't recognize anybody here because I would be maybe more starstruck, but she goes, Mark Maron is really the only person that I recognize. And he's, and then he walked into the party and when he walked in again, it just kind of changed because everybody wants, they want to all talk to him. Everybody wants to get to him. It's like Pardo. I called Pardo podcasting Jesus, because he was the first one. And then everybody wants to get their fucking hands on him. And Mark's the same way. Mark's the first one to have busted through, huge. And you can make a case for Adam and those guys, but they were big beforehand. Mark is the guy that podcasting made. You know what I mean? You don't agree? You're saying no.
Mark was an actor before he was a podcaster, so.
He was an actor and a comedian,
Yeah,
but he.
He wasn't a podcaster that made it. He was somebody that crossed over.
No, I said he was the guy that podcasting made. I didn't say that he made it, but he had made him much more famous than he was. It got him the show on IFC.
Maybe.
It got him Entertainment Weekly. It got him all these covers and Rolling Stone. They all wanted to talk to him about the new thing that he invented. I mean, literally. You and I will agree to disagree on this point. But so people are coming up and talking to Alice about the fact that she was on with Mark Maron, which I thought was amazing. And I still don't even know the circumstance, but I look forward to hearing it on the podcast. So she and I talked some more, and Jimmy was there, and some other people walked up, and I tried to give her space a little bit because everybody wanted to talk to her because she had just been, and podcasting fans to be talked to by Mark Maron, they oh my God, you actually got to talk to Mark. It was that weird thing. And she was great. She handled it well, and I just said, all right, cool, and drifted into the background. Like, it was that sort of thing where you're talking to somebody, and then other people start talking to them, and you just fucking disappear into the hedges like Homer Simpson. That's what I did. And then I went and hung out with Jimmy. I talked to him. I went and visited some other shows, checked some stuff out. And it was so funny. Then I go into the lobby, and there's Eric, and I'm talking to Eric, and I'm talking to Bill, and other friends. I saw Jolene and Mike, who I had dinner with. And Rock Solid was at 11 o'clock, so I was excited to go to that. And then I looked over, and I saw Alice again, and she's sitting there talking to Will Anderson, who's an Australian comedian, probably the biggest comedian in Australia. And he's really cool. I told you I met him at the Improv, and he was really nice and friendly. I saw her and I wanted to talk to her, but he was talking to her, and I'm like, well, I wanted to even, I even wanted to listen because I knew how interesting their conversation would be. It was that bad. Like, I almost wanted to hang out a little bit and just like listen and go, oh, well, these guys are very funny and entertaining. I wish I was involved in that. Instead, I'm standing here like a dumb fuck, eavesdropping. So I was talking to Eric, and then Pardo came downstairs with check that. Pardo and I were upstairs. I saw her talking to Will, and I was like, all right. So I went upstairs, and I met Pardo, and we went to the merch booth. And their merch wasn't there. There was no Never Not Funny merch. And there was none of my merch. And I had dropped my merch off at 4 o'clock. And so did Jimmy. Jimmy had dropped his off at 3. And he went to the booth because I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, well, I'm sure they're going to put it up eventually. I don't know when. But, I've lost one night of sales. But again, nobody knows the fuck I am, so that's fine. So Pardo came over to me, and he's like, I just told the guy that there's no merch up. And the guy said it's probably downstairs. And I said, okay. And he goes, well, you should go get it. He goes, why the fuck am I going to get it? And I said, I have no idea. I go, that seemed weird. But he goes, well, fuck it, let's just go. So we went downstairs. It was me, Pat, and Jimmy. We go to the front desk, and it turns out all the Never Not Funny merch is behind the front desk, as well as all the Doug Loves Movies merch. All of Doug Benson's merch is back there. It had been dropped off at like 3 in the afternoon at the front desk, and nobody fucking brought it up. And I don't know if that's the podcaster's responsibility or merch. I don't fucking know. I don't run a festival. I couldn't do that. I have no fucking gravitas. As you know, I've said that to you. They asked me to host a panel. I go, dude, I'm a fucking idiot. I can't host a panel. He says, well, then just do a panel. And I said, all right, I will. And then I did, and I'll get to that in a fucking second. So we're like, all right, we got to get the fucking merch. And we talked to the desk clerk, and she was super sweet. She's like, oh, will you want us to bring it up there for you? And we go, yeah. And she goes, well, you don't want to take it? And Jimmy's like, well, there's like 5 boxes. And she goes, yeah, Doug's is like 4 boxes. We can put them on a crate and bring it up there. And he goes, great. If you would do that, that'd be perfect. Delivered to the penthouse level, and that's fine. So the 3 of us are talking, and then Eric walks over with Alice. And Eric's talking to her. And then they kind of joined the conversation. And then Jimmy and I had to have a private word. So he kind of went, hey, hold on a second to Eric and Alice. And we went and sat down. And the three of us were talking, me, Jimmy, and Pat. We had to talk about some business and stuff. But I almost couldn't pay attention because I kept looking back at Alice and she's talking to Eric. And then Alice went off to do something and Eric came and he sat with us. And I thought Alice was really interesting, and I had a great time talking to her at the one party. But I couldn't find time to speak with her because every time I went, there was somebody there. I literally walked over to the one time, and Jake Johansson walked up, and she was talking to Will Anderson when I saw her in the lobby, and so I didn't want to intrude. But again, and also, who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? She's talking to fucking Will Anderson and Jake Johansson. Obviously, she's talking to really funny people, and or at least funny known people. I mean, I'm funny, but nobody knows me. But we had such a great time talking at the party. I really wanted to talk to her again. So I'm sitting there with Jimmy and Pat and Eric, and I'm like, yeah. I said, where did Alice go? And he goes, I don't know. She walked over and she had to go upstairs for something. And I said, yeah, I enjoyed talking to her. That was great. And I explained to Jimmy who she was, and Eric's like, well, yeah, you should definitely talk to her. And he goes, you're the only one who can talk to her. You're the only one who's not married. And I go, what does that mean? He goes, well, we're all married to Pat and Jimmy and him. And I'm like, well, these guys don't want to talk to her. I don't know what you're talking about, Eric. But it was so funny because Eric, I mean, I love Eric. He's the best. But he was sitting there, and all of a sudden we were a group, like the four of us. And it's like Jimmy and Pat are just like, we've just met. I don't know who you are. Do you think I'm going to cheat on what? I'm supposed to cheat on my wife? What are you saying? But Eric was like 14 Sam Adams in. So he was just like, waha. So we're talking. And then Pat had to go get ready for Rock Solid. And Jimmy was going with him, and I couldn't because it was behind the scenes bullshit. I don't know. He had to set up his Motley Crue clips, and he can't have fucking prying eyes on him. I have no idea what the plan was. It's a podcast. I can't be in the fucking room. That's fine. But that's okay because then when they were going upstairs, Alice came downstairs, and I'm like, well, here's my chance. I can talk to her. So she wanders over because again, she was very friendly with Eric, and she kept calling them the Kilt brothers, and so she sat down on the couch. It was me and her, and then Eric sat down. And I started to talk to her, and I just wanted her to talk. Like I almost didn't even want to talk back because she was so smart, and it was intimidating, but it was also exhilarating at the same time because she wanted to talk, and she was so good at it. You okay? What'd you do?
Hit my funny bone.
I wish I would. That would work out better for the show. So she and I started talking, and then Eric, well, actually, we were joined by Eric and Sam Adams. The two of them joined the conversation, and just kept talking, and I'm like, dude, don't you realize this incredibly smart person with an amazing accent is here and wants to talk? But Eric was just like, and then another thing, and I don't know, he was talking about kilts. Perhaps he was talking about kilts. I don't know, beer, whatever the fuck he had going on, but he kept interjecting, and it was so funny. I'm looking at him now. Because he, not a half hour before, went, you're the one who should talk to this girl because you're not married. Yes, exactly. So maybe that would be your cue to fucking throw Sam Adams over your shoulder and get the fuck out of here. So she's in between us, and I'm looking past her into his eyes and just going like, dude, like I'm doing everything short of going like with the fucking finger over the neck, like fucking cut it and get the fuck out of here. But he's fucking loaded, so he's not getting it, and we're talking. And then finally I have to excuse myself because I got to go upstairs to Rock Solid. So it was nice. I said goodbye to her, and I said goodbye to Eric, and I went upstairs. And then Eric walks into Rock Solid. It's like, dude, you couldn't have come up to Rock Solid earlier, motherfucker. That seems strong. That probably seems strong. I don't think I yelled motherfucker at him. Not even in my head I didn't. Eric's a good guy. He's wearing a kilt. So Rock Solid was awesome. It was great. Then I had to head home because I had a big show the next day. And I showed up at like 2:30 at the hotel. And I had to, sit down and fucking learn jokes because that's what I do. And I go, and I was worried because the show is in a bigger room this year. Like last year, we were in a smaller room and we packed it. And they put me in a bigger room this year. And in my head, I'm just like, well, me and 6 people are going to be in there. Chris Mancini even came by. He's like, are you ready for the show? And I said, yeah, dude, I'm totally excited. And I said, I'm sure that the 4 people who attend it will be like it. He goes, it's not going to be 4 people. Ha, ha, ha. But that's what I do all the time. So I'm learning jokes in the hallway, and then our friend Erica shows up. Erica Elliott, who's really nice and cool, and she shows up. She comes out of the elevator, and she's like, I know you're learning your jokes. I said, yes, I am. So she goes off to the show, and the tech guy comes to get me. He goes, hey, man, we had a question about the setup on stage. I said, oh, okay. He goes, yeah, so can you come down and help us? I'm like, I'm kind of writing the show. So I'd like to kind of hang out. What do you need? And he goes, well, we don't know what you need. And I said, well, I sent Jeff, he knows. I sent him a note. All I need is a microphone with a round bass, and that's it. It's just me talking. He goes, oh, okay. All right, yeah, that's easy enough. Great, see you down there. His name was Chris, nice guy. So I wrote the show some more, and I got up, went down to the show itself, about 10 to 4. And I walk in the room, and there's probably like 40 people in there hanging out. And I was like, oh, yeah, I wanted it to be bigger. But then more people kept coming in, and so it was fine. I was in the back of the room, and Chris comes up to me and he goes, hey, I just wanted to tell you, we didn't get a microphone with a round bass. I said, what? He goes, yeah, it's a tripod, but does that work okay? I said, well, no. I said, but I'll make it work. I just hate the fucking tripods. I think it's ridiculous. He goes, well, that's all we have. I'm real sorry. I said, okay. And then they had a TV monitor, and it was off. So my high-res logo did not get displayed during my show because the TV monitor was off. And I had a microphone with a tripod base. And so I start getting in my head a little bit where I'm just like, what am I, a fucking afterthought at this goddamn festival? What the fuck is going on? Because I'm an idiot, folks. I'm absolutely an idiot. I mean, of course, everybody else has their own thing going on, and everybody's taking care of business, and there's stuff going on in every room. But last year, Graham came in, and Graham introduced me. This year, none of the organizers showed up. They were off doing their own things, which is fine, and I get that. That's totally cool. There's other shows. There's all over the hotel. But I totally wanted them to be there. But I understand they're fucking busy. They're going all over the place. Because, man, if you would have talked to them, if you would have seen them, I mean, some of you did. Fucking Graham, the second I woke up to him, he looked so frazzled. It was crazy. Because, again, he's putting together a festival, and he's got to deal with all these shows and these people and stuff like that. He's just shaking, and he just looked like a blur held together by patchouli and teeth whitening strips. It was fucking incredible because he's just a hippie and he's all and he's like, maybe he wouldn't be so frazzled if he fucking ate real food, all right? Because he's a hippie. I'm sure he's got fucking tofurkey and a soy apple in his pocket at all goddamn times. It's like, dude, enough. Stop nibbling on the bird bell and have a fucking steak. Honestly, you got a fucking festival to put on. He's just got like a martial arts t-shirt all over his high twitch fibers. It was just freaky looking. So I stayed out of Graham's way. I talked to Chris a few times, and Chris kills me. Chris Mancini I love, but he's like Chris Mancini is the human sigh. It's like every time I see him, he just looks like his shoulders are shrugged, like, what are you going to do? And the thing that cracks me up is he is a guy who is he's a humble, talented filmmaker who now once a year has to go and make sure that the Death Squad beer koozie pyramid is set up properly at the merch booth. I mean, it's like, that's the hell he's condemned himself to by going ahead and doing this festival. And he loves it. I'm sure he loves it. But then at the same time, he's got to go into every business meeting with Graham, and I'm sure he just fucking nods. He nods the entire time he's in there with Graham. But, and he's just thinking the whole time, I got to get home and write another book about sippy cups. Honestly, because one of them is going to hit. Because he wrote a book about raising kids. I'm sure he's going to write another book about raising kids. It's just going to be called Raise Kids Who Aren't Like Graham. That's what it's going to be called. And even his editor won't even know. He'll be like, who the fuck is Graham? Don't even worry about it. It has to be told. I have to have this message out there. Because, again, he is a humble author. He is a filmmaker. He's a talented guy who has somehow found himself roped into a business partnership with an ape. I have no idea how he fell into that fucking circumstance. But the two of them, they're the business partners. And then there's Andy Wood and Dave Anthony. Andy Wood is like America's boyfriend. If you know him, if you've ever seen him, he's like 6'3" and fucking muscles, and he surfs, and he's good looking. And every time I talked to him, it just seemed like he was running for president at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival. It just, he was like fucking Otter in Animal House. He just walks around glad-handing everybody with a huge toothy smile. Hi, Eric Stratton, Rush Chairman, damn glad to meet you. I almost wanted to follow behind him and just go, hey, that was Eric Stratton, Rush Chairman. He was damn glad to meet you. And he's the good-looking one, and he's of the four of them, he's just this strapping guy and nice and happy. And then there's Dave Anthony, who's like the anti-Andy Wood. It looks like Andy Wood was run through a fucking meat grinder or something. I mean, I love Dave. Dave's fucking hysterical, but Jesus, he looks miserable half the time. He looks like he's been in a hamper for 4 days. I mean, it's fucking so insane. And then I contrasted him and Andy. It's like they were the Goofus and Gallant of the fucking LA Podcast Festival. Just you see Andy and you're like, Gallant Andy is a strapping young man, and if you cut him, he may actually bleed encouragement. I mean, it's like that dude. Dave Anthony looks like a Shar-Pei fuck Jordan Morris. I mean, it's like fucking Dave Anthony looks like he'd be comfortable, actually probably most comfortable, climbing through ceiling tiles on his way to kill Paul Reiser and Sigourney Weaver.
Oh my god.
Dave Anthony has acid for blood. Goofus Dave, I should call him. Oh, fuck. All right. So, but that was the thing. The four of them, they run the thing. And I could never do that. And so I wanted them in the room, but then they weren't, and they got business, and that's fine. And I need to just fucking understand it. You know what I mean? Um, I just love the fact that Dave Anthony is the alien. That I just made him the alien for no reason. Goofus Dave, if he was if he was the alien Dave Anthony, he would even pop out of your fucking chest. That'd be too easy. He would gestate in you until he was full term just to make you fucking miserable. That's who Dave Anthony is as a guy. He would think it was hilarious to just kick you in the liver every goddamn day and just start Twitter fights from your sternum. That's who fucking Dave Anthony is. I went to his solo show on Sunday, actually. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. So then it came time to do my show, and they introduced me. Chris brought me on stage, and man, I was not sure about how it was going to go. I mean, I'm not, because again, I'm going back out. I did the material on the Success Tour, and that was family oriented, and then Everybody Dies was the final story. And if you saw that, man, it's heavy. It's pretty heavy. You've heard it on the CD, and if you saw it live, to be in the room was different too when I would do that story, because it would just be this weird change. Well, I've got that now, but it's with a different kind of weird feeling in the room. Because one thing I've never talked about on stage, I've never talked about filth, folks. As you know, I have not done that on stage. I told you that before. But this time I decided, fuck it. I'm loaded for bear. I am shooting somebody with a filth gun, and it's going to fucking happen. Folks, you pulled the trigger on my filth gun. And so people started coming in, and all this stuff was happening, and I was telling stories, and I got to, there's one story that I told that has been on this show before that you've heard. You may be familiar with if you know year 1. I think it's from year 1. And then I tied that in with some other stuff that's going on, and I. Because again, I told that story to Lily, and she's like, "You have to tell that story." So I did. And here's the thing, it is your fault. It's absolutely your fault, because it was a hotel ballroom that was well lit, so I could see people's faces. So
I'm so sorry.
well, let's talk about that for just a second. I was weirded out at the show. I was in my own head, like I said, because of the TV and because of the organizers weren't there and no microphone stand. All of that is true, but it takes a back seat to the real reason why I was upset. My Lily wasn't there. I need her for that stuff, and she was at last year's podcast festival, and it just, seeing her before the show was so important to me last year. She came up to me in the chair, and she's like, you're going to be great, and don't worry about it. And then she went in, and she made sure the tech was fine, and she made sure the room was set up the way I wanted it, and she made sure everything was fine. And then this year she did not. She couldn't come. She was sick. And she had a show herself that night. It was a fundraiser show, and she had to host it. So she had to stay in bed and get better. But I didn't know that until Saturday. So I was expecting her there, and then she didn't come. So that was not cool. And I understood. I totally understood. And it's funny. I do shows on the road, and she's not there, and it's fine. I make it work. But that's why I was so excited for this show, because she would get to see me work again, and I would get to have her in the room. Because as you know, I'm 5. So I have to show off for the one person I want to impress. I mean, every week I do the show. That's the only person I'm trying to impress. And then when I get to go out and do the live show for you guys, well, then luckily I get to impress more people. But it's about her, and the fact that she didn't come was I was in my head from the beginning. I won't lie. But then I did the show, and it was really dirty, and I could see people's faces as they were like cringing. I mean, like really, like just going, like wincing at things that I said as if I was throwing punches. And I'm like, wow, this is a powerful story in a different way, I guess. But it went really well. And I didn't do that long. I did like an hour and 20. I don't think I'm going to be selling it. People have already asked. Everybody emailed that day, and people live, they were just like, you should sell this. You should totally sell this. Lily thinks I should sell it. I haven't even gotten the audio yet from the festival, so I'd have to hear it back and hear what it sounded like. But I don't think I'm going to. And here's a reason. Because I'm coming to cities. I'm going to be in Seattle and everywhere else, and I'm going to do these stories live. And I can't imagine that you would want to hear me do them at the festival and pay for it and then I come to your city and you pay for it. It just seems odd. And Lily's analogy is like it's a band. You know, they want to hear the stories on the CD and they want to see them live. Well, stories aren't songs. I mean, songs are over in 3 minutes, 4 minutes. A story, I mean, you're gonna really listen to a 45-minute story that you heard already on a CD. It just seems weird.
Yeah,
And
never watches movies again or reads books again.
it's different.
It
It's still different.
isn't.
It is. So, unless you're Derek Leitner, who's seen me 8 times, so good for him.
That right there proves to you that people want to hear and see more than once.
Yes, Derek Leitner does. Nobody else in the world does. Derek Leitner's the only dude. You know what? I'm gonna call him. Hold on. So I did the show and I loved it. I mean, I thought it went really well. And afterwards, and the thing is, Never Not Funny was in the same room as me afterwards. So I didn't really get to meet anybody. Our friend Chris Cade was there. He came down from San Francisco. He's seen me a few times. He saw all the San Francisco shows, so it was good to have him. But I didn't get to see anybody really after the show. I took some pictures with, and they're going to kill me, but they were from Utah. They came down for the show. I'm so sorry. It was a guy and his girlfriend. And I took pictures with them and talked to them. But we were all outside waiting to go back in at Never Not Funny. So they had to clear the room really fast and then put more people in. I felt cheated. Like I felt like I didn't really get to meet anybody because they, people they couldn't hang out because they were waiting to get in at Never Not Funny. But that was fine. It turned out okay. And then I went into fucking Never Not Funny and watched Pardo fucking destroy. Let me put it. If you don't subscribe to Never Not Funny, you should, just to get this fucking episode, because he opened it and crushed it. And I did something stupid. He was making fun of another show at the festival, and he goes, if anybody here wants to go see a show that they're not going to enjoy, but at least they'll have a chair, you should go. And I got up and I walked out. And he's like, Schmidty, good call, and I bailed. And then I was in the hallway, and I waited like 5 minutes, and then I opened the door to walk in, and he goes, Schmidt, get out! And I just turned around and walked right out. But I was able to sneak back in later. And the funny thing is, when I snuck back in later, there was a dude in my chair at Never Not Funny, and I fucking stopped, and I gave him I stood over him like mean, and he looked up at me, and I'm just looking at him, and then he just got up really slowly, and I just nodded, and he fucking walked away, and I stared at him, and I sat down, and fucking Pardo goes, all right, Schmidt, sit down. And then they had fucking Rich Summer on, and they were hysterical. It was so great. So I walked outside after Never Not Funny. We're all talking and hanging out. And then we went upstairs to the Pod Smash, which was all the live stand-up that was going on. And, Marin was on there. I went up in a room with Marin and Pardo for fucking 20 minutes, hanging out with them, talking. And Pat and I, Pat and Belknap, and then Pat's nephew, Kyle, we went off to Umami Burger off campus to go eat. I got to tell you this fucking... All right, look, I will thumbnail this for you. We went to order food at Umami Burger. Now, Umami Burger out here is a really fancy guitar place. No, it's a burger place, guitar place. So it's me, Pat, Kyle, and Matt. And we get our menus. And I want a turkey burger. Again, I haven't eaten all day, so all I want is a turkey burger. So they have a turkey burger that comes with their homemade green goddess dressing and homemade green cheese and then avocado and, whatever the fuck. So everybody orders their food, and they are, Pat orders his burger well done, and I'm like, really? And then Kyle orders his well done. I'm like, seriously? I mean, what are you doing, ruining meat? So it comes to me, and I said, I need a turkey burger. I said, but I have to ask a favor. I don't want any cheese or any green goddess dressing. She goes, no problem. And I said, I need extra avocado on the side. She goes, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I said, excuse me? She goes, yeah, we have a recipe for our hamburgers, and the chefs, they don't like to alter it. She goes, I can remove things from the burger, but you can't add anything. I said, I can't buy a side of avocado from you. I'm willing to pay for it. She goes, nope, I'm sorry. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I'll have nothing. And she goes, seriously? I said, yes. And I gave her the menu. And Pat looked at me and he goes, you're really not going to eat? I go, if I'm going to buy a $15 hamburger, you're going to put what I fucking want on it. And I started to get progressively madder. And Pat's like, just, dude, don't, it's fine. He goes, you can have some of my burger. I go, that's not it. It's the fucking principle of it. I go, if that's their policy, that's fine. But then I don't have to give them my fucking money. It just seems ridiculous that you wouldn't give me a side of avocado. Even, what if I said, I'm just going to eat the avocado with my fork? Who the fuck cares? I'm not going to put it on your precious fucking hamburger. But they, who knows? But I couldn't believe it. I'm stunned. No. Who the fuck tells a customer no? I want to give you money for a fucking service. All I want is a goddamn avocado. If she would have said it was $5, I would have done it. That's how stupid I am. So they bring the food, and Pat goes, well, I'm going to cut the burger in half. I'll give you half my burger. I go, you don't have to do that. He goes, no, it's fine. I don't mind. And he asks her, he goes, can you do me a favor? Can can you just give me a knife or whatever so I can cut this in half? She goes, I'm sorry, we can't do that. And he goes, what? She goes, yeah, the kitchen won't cut it in half. We have a presentation. So that's the presentation of the burger. And they don't want to ruin the presentation. And I'm just smirking now because I'm like, guess what, Pat? You just got umami'd. So he goes, all right, that's fine. So he cuts it open and he looks at it and he goes, this is fucking raw. And I looked at it, it was fucking bright fire engine red inside. So he's like, I can't eat that. He goes, I'm going to send this back. And it's like, all right, that's fine. So he looks at his nephew, and his nephew was about 2/3 through his fucking burger. He inhaled it, but his was raw too. He's like, why are you eating that? He goes, didn't you order yours well done? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, but I'm hungry. And he goes, that's fucking awful looking. And we wind up eating like the appetizers, and Belknap eats his whole fucking hamburger. And Pat finally goes, I'm just getting madder and madder as I sit here. You know what? Fuck this. We're not paying for this. I go, excuse me? And he goes, no. He goes, I'm not paying for my burger. We're not paying for Kyle's. You didn't eat. He goes, we'll pay for the appetizers and fucking Matt's burger, and that's it. And I went, all right. He goes, I'm going to tell the waitress that. I go, all right, well, I'm going to put my iPod on because I'm not going to be here when you get into a fucking fight. He goes, you, Captain Confrontation? What the fuck? You don't want to hear me do this?
Confrontation.
And I'm like, well, if you're at the waitress is the problem. Go the manager over fine, but I don't want to hear the fucking waitress get it. It's not her fault. And he's like, well, fuck it. And so she came over. She goes, is there a problem? And he goes, yeah. He goes, we're not paying for this. We're not paying for this. We're not paying for this. We'll pay for these, and that's it. And she goes, okay. And she leaves. And then the manager comes over, and he goes, I understand there's a problem. I want to apologize to you guys. We've been having a problem. There's like 12 burgers that have been sent back to our... Oh, because I should tell you this. I got to tell you this. Pat sent his back to get refired. And then that's when he was like, I'm getting madder and madder. I don't want it. I don't even want it when they bring it back. We're not paying for Kyle's either. So that was when he made the decision. He didn't even have a burger. He didn't bite his. He sent it back to get re-fucking cooked. And then he was like, before he even brought it to him, he didn't want it. So he tells her that. She says, okay. The manager comes over and he goes, you know what, fellas, I got to apologize. We've had a dozen burgers sent back. We got some problem with our stovetop back there. So I'm comping the whole check. You don't have to pay for any of it. And Pat's like, well, that's very nice of you. Thank you. And he goes, yeah, no problem. So we're just looking around like, that's fucking fine. Good. Because the good news is, if you're going to act like a pretentious, snooty bullshit restaurant in the beginning, you better come through at the end. And they did.
Yeah.
So we go to walk out, and at the door, the manager is talking to a waiter, and the waiter is holding Pat's refired hamburger. And he's on his way out to the patio with it. And as we're walking out, I hear the manager, and he goes, what are you doing? Where are you going? And he goes, I'm bringing an order out. He goes, is that the hamburger that we refired for the other table? Is that the replacement burger? He goes, yeah. He goes, what are you doing with it? He goes, well, I'm going to give it to another customer.
Oh my God.
And the manager goes, get in here. And he just like grabs the guy by the arm and he brings him in the restaurant. And I left. I didn't witness the beatdown. But it made me laugh. I'm like, wait a minute, you won't give me a side of avocado, but you're sending out fucking secondhand burgers? Are you fucking kidding me? Now the manager wasn't. The manager, the second he found out about it, he's like, fucking get in here. What are you doing? And the best part was Pat ordered it well done with no mushrooms. Was there somebody else who had that exact same fucking hamburger? It just seemed ridiculous. But the guy was delivering Pat's second burger to somebody out on the patio. And I don't know, maybe he was bringing it to a friend or what the fuck, or they didn't sell it. I have no clue, but the manager was fucking furious.
Jesus Christ.
So we go back to the hotel, and we go to Pod Smash. We're hanging out upstairs. And like I said, I got to hang out with Mark and Pardo and Graham. And, you know, it was just fun. It was so much fun to hang out with friends. And Suzanne and Heidi. And then we went and saw Kumail Nanjiani showed up and did a set. And all these different comedians. Karen Kilgariff was supposed to be there, and she didn't. I watched Dana Gould. And, of course, Dave Anthony, Mark Maron. All these guys crushing it. Will Anderson, fucking amazing. Will Anderson loves the podcast festival so much. He flew in to do it. And then he went and checked his bags at the airport, came back into the set at Podsmash, and then went back to fly 14 hours to Australia to do his show the next day. Just a machine. So we're hanging out upstairs. And it ends. Podsmash ends, and we're all kind of drifting out into the hallway. Said my goodbyes to Pardo. I was talking to Suzanne. And Alice walked up. And I hadn't seen her. And I was like, how was Podsmash? I said, did you get on? Did you get to do a set? She said, no. And she laughed. We talked a little bit, and it was just one of those things where there's a million people talking. And, you know, I really wanted to talk to her because I found her very interesting. And I went, I said, you know what, this is stupid. What are you doing banging your head against the wall? Because everybody wanted to talk to her. It was that sort of thing. So I'm talking to Suzanne a little bit. And then I said, I'm going to go. And Suzanne goes, "You're leaving?" I said, "Yeah, I think I'm going to take off." And Alice looked at me and said, "You're leaving?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Don't go." I said, "Oh, okay." Because that's really all I needed was 2 words. I mean, once she said them in an Australian accent, I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, all right, I'll hang out a little bit." So we start drifting off. Everybody's talking, and then more people are leaving, and then finally it comes down to where it's just me, Alice, Steve, who was a merch guy, Angelo, and Alex, who were the 2 merch people. And Alex, it's funny, Alex was also from Australia. She was there, and so we started talking about Obamacare. It was ridiculous because Steve's talking about socialized medicine, and he's talking about the way it works in Australia, and they're agreeing. Because I was with, basically, it was me and Angelo were American people, and then Alex and Alice and Steve were Australians. So we were hearing how they do it over there, and then we were talking about over here, and finally we were the only 5 people left in the room, and we had to split so they could close up the merch booth. He's like, "We can't leave till everybody's gone." We said, "All right, we'll take off." So Alice and I left. We were walking, and I said, "Are you leaving, or you want to talk a bit?" And she said, "Yeah, well, let's talk." I said, "All right, well, let's go find a place to sit." So we went outside, and I go, "We can sit up here," but it was by the elevators. It was ridiculous. I go, "Let's go down to the lobby," because it was nice couches. And we sat down and talked. And I listened a lot, but I talked, and I didn't want to leave ever. Hearing her, she was so smart and so amazing. And this will sound terribly cocky and awful. She was smarter than me, which was great. Because I just wanted to sit there and get schooled. But here was the best part. She was smarter than me, but she was still talking to me, which meant that I may have been somewhere close. And so we talked about everything. We talked about her family. We talked about my family. We talked about her comedy, and what led her to do that, and what she did previously, and the things that she decided to do. And she's been all over. She speaks French and German and Arabic. She's telling me stories from Istanbul and traveling all over. And I mean, I went to Tijuana and got stabbed with a hot dog fork. All right, I didn't. My friend did, but so what? That's a story I'll appropriate for myself. I didn't. I should have. Well, I went to Tijuana and got stabbed by a hot dog fork. But she was amazed that I hadn't traveled. I told her I'd been to Canada and to Mexico, which probably don't count. She said they did not. So and she was really smart. To Mexico.
Oh, I thought you said New Mexico.
New Mexico might as well be another fucking country.
Canada and New Mexico.
That's right, Ben. That's how smart I was. That's literally, that's how smart. I would have been a fucking lab rat at that point.
Oh my God, that's fucking funny.
No, I've been to Canada and to Mexico.
To Mexico.
Yes. But yeah, she I can't. It was just incredible because there was nobody around. Finally, there was nobody around, and I got to listen to her talk about herself and tell me who she was and why she was doing what she was doing, and I tried to participate as best that I could, and but she enjoyed talking to me, and we talked for. All of a sudden, I didn't even care what time it was. The pod smash finished. We went downstairs, and finally, I looked at my phone, and it was 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And it was just incredible, because I'll say this too. It made me feel better about who I am, because as we know, I'm kind of scrambled and have been for a while. But to know that somebody of worth like that wanted to spend time with me, it changes you a bit, and it changes your perspective. Because I'm down all the time, and wondering whether things are going to work, and it's a constant battle in my head, and to sit there and be recognized, and to talk to a peer and to be on that level, I can't stress enough that it was magic. And she's remarkable. just a comedian, and she's done 2 one-woman shows in Australia, and yeah. So she wasn't staying in the hotel. She was staying close by, so I offered her a ride home. Took her to her place, walked her up, and left. And it's funny, she closed the door to leave, and I felt like I could fly to my car. It was a feeling I haven't had in person in a long time. And so I went down to my car, and actually, I think I strutted. I may have strutted at a point or two. It's just, yeah. So I went home, and I had to do the panel the next day. That was a podcast panel with John Lovitz and Mike Bertolini from All Things Comedy. And Christine Blackburn was very nice, and she was the panel leader. And there was like 30 people in this panel, which I was surprised. And we talked about podcast. I think they're going to put it out as a podcast eventually. I should tell you this too. They were interviewing comedians all weekend long. And on Friday night, I had been asked to go and get interviewed. Chris Mancini said, "Please go in there." So then I went in there, and they go, "We're done for the night." And I'm like, "Well, Chris told me to come on in." "Well, come back tomorrow." And I literally went, "No thanks," because again, I was tired of getting fucking bounced around, and I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I want to be coddled. So on Saturday after my show, I saw Chris, and he's like, "Hey, did you get interviewed yesterday?" I said, "No." He goes, "You want to do it now?" I said, "Yeah, after Never Not Funny." So Never Not Funny ended, and I went in there, and it was just me on a couch and Chris asking me questions, and they filmed it. So it's going to be on, from what I heard, the LA Podfest YouTube channel, if it's not up already. But he asked about the podcast, and basically asked what was so important about it, and fan interactions and things. And I mentioned Seth and Brandy. And but I told him, I said, the most important part of this is interacting with people. And there's no reason not to do it. There's no reason, if you're a comedian and you have something to say, there's no reason not to do a podcast. If you're anybody and you have anything to say, there's no reason not to do a podcast. And I said, it's brought me closer together with bands. They pick me up at the airport. They drive me around. They hang out because I said, I don't even want to call them fans. I want to call them friends. It's the silliest thing, but it just sounds dumb to say fans because, yeah, you like what I do or whatever. But then when I see it, it's so funny. Everybody remarks about how I'm a normal guy. And I'm like, well, yeah, of course I am. What the fuck am I going to be? I mean, I'm an idiot. There's no doubt about that, clearly. But he asked me, he's like, how long are you going to do this show? And I told him the answer that I usually gave. I said, when I started, I was 40, and that's why I was the 40-year-old boy. I said, well, now I'm 46. And the joke was, I couldn't change the title, but eventually I would get to be 50. And if I was still doing it then, put a bullet in my head. Because I'm not changing the name, and I'm 50 at that point, and obviously it didn't work. And I said, but I've come around to thinking that obviously if I'm still doing it at 50, it did work. Clearly it worked. And I will never give this up. There's no reason to. You go work at jobs, you go do different things, and you've got notes, and you've got a boss, and you've got all these people telling you what to do. You know who tells me what to do on this show? Fucking nobody. Nobody. Well, Lily. I mean, Lily does tell me what to do.
Nobody.
Yeah, well. So I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I said that. I go, why would you ever give that up? Why would you ever allow anybody to tell you couldn't be yourself? And so I was really proud of the interview to the point where, because when I was giving it, I could see the camera guy, the boom guy, and the other camera guy nodding every time that I said something. And then we finished, and they all came up to me and said, that was really honest and amazing. And I'm like, good, I'm glad. And they said, well, we've had other guys in here, and it's been, it's cool, everybody talking, but you really cared about that. And I'm like, I do. I care about this because this is what I've got. So Sunday I go to the podcast panel, and it's Podcast Network's Pro or Con. And clearly I should tell you, I'm not anti-network. Well, this came up because Christine introduces all of us, and we start talking. And I'm there to be the bomb thrower. All right, I'm the guy who's not in a network, so I'm the guy who hates them. So it came to me, and I said, look, I'm not anti-network at all. I said, I'm pro do whatever the fuck you want to do. If a network gives you a deal that allows you to do what you want to do, then do it. But if they're going to tell you what to do and ruin the length of your show and all that bullshit, then I'm out. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And John Lovitz, when he came in, he brought an entourage of like 4 people. He brought his dog. and his dog kept coming up to me, like 'cause it was right by the table. And here was the worst part: is like I've seen the people that John, two of the people that John brought were nice. They were cool, but he also had a guy with him, his guy, and that's what John kept saying. He's my guy Mark, and Mark is obviously the guy who went to John and said, "Hey man, why don't we start a podcast festival network because we could go ahead and do this and make all this money." And I mean, it's just he's the comedian whisperer, the guy who goes, he latches on to a famous guy and then runs all these plans by him, and that's how it goes. That was the vibe I got. Again, I could be wrong, because again, John Lovitz was a really nice man. He was just clueless. Because they would ask him a question about numbers or about podcasts and stuff, and he'd go, "Well, we have the vodcast," and he goes, "No, I didn't invent the term," and he was very self-effacing, but he would talk in these terms that it was fairly obvious to me he didn't understand, that had buzzwords all written all over them, and they would be fed to him by somebody else, and so he would, every time they'd ask him a question that was tough, he'd go, "Well, hey, you know what? Let's talk about my friend Mark. My guy Mark knows that. And then Mark would answer the question from the audience off mic. And so he kept throwing it to that dude. And finally, I looked at Mike Bertolini, who was next to me from All Things Comedy, and I said, "Well, John Lovitz brought a dog, and he brought a lap dog. That's good news."
Was that on mic?
No, of course not. Because I didn't want, you know why? Because he was befuddled. I didn't want to, it would be like arguing with Reagan. I mean, it was just like he didn't know.
Oh my god!
Well, I mean, he's a sharp guy for comedy, and he's got that, but he just kind of, it looks like he's in that, let's throw it against the wall and see what sticks phase. Because according to me, what their plan, according to them, is they have podcasting studios, and they want neophyte podcasts to pay $150 an hour to go there and record their shows in a professional studio. But they'll provide you with the engineer, and they'll provide you with this, and they'll provide you with, and I'm just like, but that's against what podcasting is. So you're trying to invent radio? Is that what you're trying to do? And so finally, at one point, the only thing I said that was confrontational to John, because again, he was John Lovitz, so every time he'd talk, those four people would laugh, and other people would laugh too, and I couldn't hang with that. And also, I should say this in the beginning of the fucking talk, I mentioned doing what I wanted. I said, that's the whole point of not having a network. I go, if I do whatever I want. I go, if I have a sponsor and I want to make fun of them, I do. I fucking crush them. And they all blanched. Like it was Kemda from Keith and the Girl, Mike Bertolini, and John. And they're like, well, I don't know why you'd fucking crush your sponsors. And I go, because it's fun. They understand what they're getting into. I've told them before they sign up, they have a contract that reads, I can say whatever I want. You don't control the content of the show. They're like, yeah, but why would you make fun of a sponsor? I go, I do it with finesse. I go, you got to understand. It's not like I'm just like, fuck these guys, they're faggots. I mean, it's like, it's a 45-minute commercial for their show. And it's available in perpetuity because when you buy the download sets, it's on there forever. So it brings attention to what they're doing in a different light. I mean, I'm not just ruining them. And then I said, well, of course, some people would disagree with that. And then I explained the story of a sponsor who didn't quite care for my approach. And then they said, well, what'd you do? And I said, I cut him a check and we were done. And they're like, so you had to pay them? And I go, well, no, they paid up front for a certain block. And then John Lovitz goes, paid up front? That's the smartest thing you've said all day. Ha ha ha. And I said, yeah, that's how I do it. Because I want to make sure that I can do what I want. And if they don't like it, then they can just have their money back. And so I said, John, I got a question for you. I go, are you a mercenary? I said, are you just in this to make money? Because every time you talk, it's about making money here, making money there. Your shows make money. These people make money. Eventually, you'll all make money. I said, there's a real creativity versus commerce question here. And I'm just wondering if you're in this because you see an opportunity to make money, or if someone who has dealt with notes and comedy and being through network filters, did you see an opportunity to express yourself in a way that you'd never been able to before? And he kind of danced around it. And he was like, well, no, creativity is very important to me, but, money, and it's just, we're trying to figure out how to work. And a lot of nonsense, quite frankly. And he even at one point, he went off on this 4-minute rant about Obama's a liar and how these things are bad, and the government and taxes and rich people, and how he knows because he knows how much he pays and this different thing. And I'm just like, you're alienating yourself even further from people who like podcasting. Oh, so you're a rich guy who gets taxed a lot? Well, dude, people are recording shows on their fucking phone. People with button mics are recording in garages. I mean, I don't. And he actually referred to Mark. He goes, Mark does this show in his garage, I think. I mean, I don't know if he still does that. And I'm just like, no, he does. That's the aesthetic. That's part of the appeal, is that he literally started something from nothing for him, and it came out to be a huge hit. And now that's one of the reasons why you're here sniffing around. I didn't say all this, but it was just, because honestly, I will tell you this, once I mentioned the thing about the sponsors, it was me against them. Because even Kemda kept joking. She goes, well, if I wanted to shit on my sponsors, I guess I would do something like that. And I'm like, you don't understand. And you won't until you hear it. They're never going to hear it, of course. Let's be honest. None of them are going to go, hey, who's that guy who crushed his sponsors? I should go ahead and check out that show. I mean, and that's fine. But it didn't matter because I went over well with the crowd, which is what I wanted. And there were fans of the show. And again, I don't want to say people's names, but I'll give her Twitter name. Kismet's Mama, at Kismet's Mama on Twitter was there. And she stepped forward and she said, she goes, the reason I don't know about networks because you guys are all cross promoting. She goes, well, if I hear something from a network that I don't like, she goes, I'm more apt to just drop the entire network and think that I don't trust any of your messages. She goes, you need to get me as a listener. She goes, when I heard Mike, I knew I would listen forever because he had me as a person. And with a network, I wonder if you're talking at me more than talking with me. Mike's talking with me. And I was like, Jesus Christ, you should be up here. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly how I want it to be. And I even said that on the panel. I go, my show is a saga. I go, it's weird. I go, my show is more of a book than a movie, and it's you have to kind of see the chapters unfold. It's not just, sound bites. Case in point, this fucking week. So they were, it was fine. The panel went fine. And afterwards, John was real nice. And the second the show ended, that his guy came up to me and gave me a card and said they wanted to talk to me and hear my show. And they wanted me to come in and possibly check out the studios. And they have a green screen and I could video and I could do all this. And I'm just like, you and your pitches.
Didn't hear a word you said.
Nope. Not a word. And thought that I was going to go in. A green screen? Are you fucking joking? What the fuck am I going to do? You know what? Let's do it. Put me on the fucking bow of the Titanic with fucking DiCaprio. That's how we got to do this goddamn show. So then I went up talking to Bertolini from All Things Comedy, and I loved them. I mean, he was really cool, and he told me, he was like, the way we work it is the comics they get money, and if you bring in your own sponsor, you get them, or you can try to share them with everyone. And he goes, we don't tell you what to do at all. He goes, you can do whatever the fuck you want on your show. Because again, it was started by Bill Burr and Al Madrigal. I didn't know anything about the company. I know Al Madrigal. I've met him, but I don't know Bill, obviously. But between the two of them, they started it for comics. And they had to bring in people, like Bertolini or Mike Berlina, I think, yeah. And but then they started just bringing in shows with comedians that they like, that they think are funny. And he couldn't have been nicer, and he agreed with me that fucking John was fairly clueless and didn't know what was up. And because again, John's starting a network for no reason. He was talking about his baseball show like it was something. Again, he was talking about his things like they were new and fresh, and I'm just like, no, dude, these are being done by people all over the fucking world. But he was a decent guy, I suppose. I don't know. So I walked out, and then I was in the hallway hanging out, and Alice came by, and I talked a bit to her because I had seen her beforehand. Oh, I should tell you this, before I even went to my fucking to the Podfest thing, I had breakfast with Aisha Tyler. It was me, Jackie Cation, Aisha Tyler, and her friend Steve. And man, Aisha Tyler's not fair. That's not fair. You can't be that good looking and that fucking quick and smart and funny. I mean, it was insane, and seeing it up close, the charisma in person was really odd. I mean, you're just like, whoa. And so I pitched myself as a guest to her because why not? I mean, I don't normally do that, but I figured we were all there and I kind of had the cachet of being a performer. So Gil Martin and I were there, and I said to Aisha, I said, look, I'd really like to do your show, just let you know. And then Paul was nice. He stepped up and he was said, greatest storyteller in the world, whatever the fuck. And I was like, awesome. And then I pulled out my title belt and I proved it. Because folks, I had a fucking title belt made. It's amazing, from the World Talking Federation. So then I was in the hallway and I'd seen Alice before the Podfest thing, and she's like, yeah, I think I'm going to come in and watch your seminar. And I said, please don't. I said, it's just going to be boring people arguing. I said, go to something that's funny, because Gil Martin was next door with Mental Illness Happy Hour. I said, go watch Paul. He's extremely funny and it's a great show. So she went and checked out Paul, and we let out, and I saw her in the hallway, and she was talking to more people, and I didn't want to bother her because I still thought I was bothering her, and that sounds ridiculous because we had connected and everything was great. We were talking and everything was nice, but I still felt. I was intimidated. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, man, she was smart and beautiful and that. So we talked a little bit, and I had to leave because I had to go work, so I couldn't stay for the whole day. And she was getting on a plane at the end of the night, so she wasn't going to be there for the closing party, so I was going to miss her. And she said, well, you have to leave in an hour? And I said, yeah. And she goes, well, let's spend that last hour together. So we went outside to the pool and talked. And it was funny. We were talking, and I'm using the word magic, and I don't mean to overuse it, but it was just I never wanted it to end talking to her because it just, the way it made me feel, Ari, I'll tell you this. During my show, I talked about her on stage. And I told the story about how Eric wouldn't leave me alone to talk to the Australian girl. And everybody knew who the Australian girl was because they had met her throughout the show, throughout the weekend. And so I told that story on stage. So then when we were talking Saturday night, I said to her, I said, full disclosure, if we're going to talk here about stuff, I have to tell you that I mentioned you on stage tonight. And she was taken aback, and she said, why? And I told her the story. I said, because all I wanted to do yesterday was talk to you, and I could never get you alone to talk to you. I said, this is what I wanted, what we're doing right now, but I couldn't because Eric was there and other people were there, and so I talked about that on stage. And she she made a face. She made a bashful face, and I think I mentioned that before when we were playing ping pong at the bar. This happened, but this time she did it, and she covered her face with her hand, and it reminded me exactly. There's a scene in Almost Famous where someone says something to Kate Hudson. I believe it's backstage at the concert. I don't think it's at the hotel, but it might be. And she makes this bashful face, and she looks at the ground, and then she covers her mouth with her hand, and then she looks back up with these brilliant eyes. And I swear to God, I was living that moment on that couch. I told her I had talked about her on stage, and she made that face and looked away and then looked back at me, and I froze. Because I recognized how special that moment was for me. So then Sunday, we got together to talk, and we went out to the pool. And we were talking about what she was going to be doing and where she was going and what I was doing, and as I've mentioned, I'm still not happy with where I'm at. I mean, right now I'm still struggling, man, and I'm scraping it by, and I'm doing everything I can to stay afloat. And so I have that problem, self-worth wise, and I do what I have to do. But it's not what I want to do. And we're all doing that. Every one of us is doing what we have to do. And maybe it's especially not what we want to do, but we have to do it. So that's what I'm doing now. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's life. You just do it. And you keep moving forward like a shark. But to sit and talk with her and to talk shop and to be recognized. And she was so brilliant. And for her to even take the time to speak to me, it just, I could feel... when the Grinch Stole Christmas and they show his heart get huge and it breaks that little box? That's how I felt. You don't have to do that.
No, it's nice.
Well, all right. Well, it just made me realize that I still had worth. And it made me realize that I'm not wrong about the things I do well. And just because I have to do other things, it doesn't mean that it affects who I am. And it's weird to take all of that out of this conversation, but to be paid attention to by someone so special, it makes you feel like more than you think you are. And I think we all know I have a problem with that. I've always wanted to be more. And that's how I felt. And what's funny is then, she would deflect compliments too, like I do. And at one point she's just like, well, I'm just a comedian, right? And I went, you are not just anything. Absolutely not. So we finished talking. And then I walked her up to the penthouse. The penthouse is the floor where all the shows were. So she was going to duck in and go watch Greg Fitzsimmons. And I had to take off. And say goodbye. And I walked her into the showroom, and I walked out, and I had to collect my merch, and I was getting it, and then I had some CDs left over, and I fought it. because again, she didn't see my show and she doesn't know anything about me other than the conversations we had. In my head, I'm like, well, if I give her the CD, is that a cheesy move? Is that a weird, like, hey, doll, and, throw her some weird keepsake of me? Hey, here's what I do. Or was it trying to prove what I've already proved? I couldn't think of it. But then I realized what it was. It was a nice gesture for someone who I thought was special. So I took the CD in to the showroom, and she was standing there, and I didn't make a big production out of it. And here, I really want you to hear this. Although I'm sure in my head that's what I felt like. Look, I'm validated. I'm good. I do things. I do something. I promise. But instead, I just walked in, and she smiled at me, and I held it out, and I handed it to her. And she looked at it and looked at me, and unfortunately, I winked, because I wink, and I left. And I twitched my nose and I disappeared into the sky. And then left and debated. And even if I'd gone back, it's not like we could have talked for any length of time, but I wanted to, and it's weird. It's strange because she's gone. And probably gone for good. And it makes me ask myself the question, and not just me. I've asked other people too over the last few days because it's tough to shake. If you had the opportunity to spend 2 days with someone who was perfect, with only a 5% chance of ever seeing that person again in your life, would you do it? Or would you not be able to live with the longing and the idea that was gone? And I don't know the answer. I've asked women mainly, because I'm sure if I asked men, they would call me a pussy and tell me to get out of the room. So I've asked women and to get their idea, and everyone's got their own interpretation and stuff, and I don't know, and I don't even know, if I saw her again, what would happen. I mean, I would want to talk to her and and never stop. But also there's part of me that knows exactly what I would do. Because in the course of our conversation, she actually told me, she said, it's really nice to find someone to have proper conversation with. And I think that made me feel better than anything I'd ever heard in my life. Because if someone like that, someone perfect, wanted to spend time with me, then maybe things aren't so bad. She told me that I was valuable, which is not a word that that has come up as a compliment. I don't think even with a lot of people, it's just not. It was part of who she is to say that I was valuable. And so I think I know exactly what I would say to her if I did get to see her again. And it's exactly what I would say to everyone who came to Podfest this week and met me, and Jolene and Mike and Chris and Bill and Eric and Heidi and Suzanne and Raquel and Mel and Jeff and Mark and Jeff and Kinetic Distortion and Erica and anyone I'm forgetting, I apologize. And to everyone, not just people who come to see me live. It's something that I should say to all of you. And that's thanks. You guys can get me at mikeandmikeschmidtcomedy.com. You can be my friend at facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. David Hernandez does all of the music and the artwork for this show. He is my brother, and he can be found at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. You can also, if you want to hire him to do some artwork for you, go to artbydmh.com. My friend Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show. She is my Lily, and she is my sister. And you can get her at facebook.com/LilyVonStupp. You can follow her on 3 different Twitter accounts, twitter.com/LilyVonStupp, twitter.com/MNTs, and twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and find out what color the pair of underwear was that she vacuumed up when I walked in the room today, you can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Business, get it at, business. Let Mike Schmidt sell you the new box set with year 1 through year 5. Get it at business. There's also artwork there for you to get. Plus Schmidty comes alive. Get it at leaked audio is the one that you prefer. Hear the big angry. Get it at business. Business is the place to your dirt. For the life of Schmidty. Get it up, 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 business.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday night tease. Ow, my neck. Sorry. Want to remind you folks about the Monday night tease every Monday night. Why did that happen all of a sudden? You know what? Because I sat up. I sat up and moved the wrong way. All right. Lily wants me out of her house. It's midnight. It's midnight, folks. It's fucking midnight. And we would have gotten through the show a lot sooner if you people would have stopped calling. All day, people calling the fucking cell phone. We're looking at it. Is this an important call? Nope. It's just a listener calling because Mike said last week because he's great. Folks, want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. And that is hosted by a lovely woman, a woman that is very near and dear to my heart and actually near and dear to my knee right now, as a matter of fact. Very close.
Not that close.
Close enough.
Dirty.
Well, no, it
There's
did not.
8 feet between us.
8 feet seems long. This is wait a minute. How much basketball do you watch? Those dudes, 8 feet.
There's 5 feet between us.
No, there's not. There's 4 feet, maybe 3. Not even.
Oh my God, grab the tape measure.
We're a
9
yardstick
feet.
away. You are a yardstick away from me.
I am further than 3 feet away from you.
In your brain. All day you've been. Oh, you're going to measure it? Really? You got a thing? Look, folks, we're going to measure this right now, goddammit. I'm going to hold it and we're going to see.
4 feet.
You're 4 feet away from me. Well, apparently she wishes to be as far away from me as she possibly can. I didn't know it was going to be that big a deal that she had to pull out a fucking measuring tape and actually make sure.
Just happen to have one. Impressive.
It was. That wasn't bad, actually. Quickly whipped that out. Although, in the oldest building in Hollywood, in your house, I mean, it's just, there's a giant Ronald McDonald head. It's like a huge pen hanging off the fucking ceiling. A Kubrick U, which is awesome. You should Twitter that. You should put that on your Facebook page. That should be your little picture. A Kubrick U on a Monday Night Tea stage. That's gorgeous.
It's up there sometimes.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm a fan. So that's my friend Lily Von Stupp, folks, and she's the producer of the hottest burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles. Certainly, well, I would say even all of Southern California. Wait a minute. I would say California itself. Wait a minute, West Coast. That's the Monday Night Tease. Hey, Lily, how are you?
I'm okay.
You're getting sick
I
again.
think so.
She wrapped herself in a blanket and a heating pad the entire we've been sitting here. So, and that makes me weird because I feel like I should get out of here, and it's a mess. And I apologize to her all the time, and she hates it, and that's fine. But I can tell you, I'm going to say this honestly, and you're going to sit there and you're going to take it. That's right. 4 feet away, you're going to sit there.
That measuring stay 4 feet.
And you are going to take it. I happened to go to the Monday Night Teas this week, folks, with my friends Heidi and Raquel, who were in town, and I'm glad they were able to go with us. And Lily was filming for a television show. I can't say the network. I can't say the show, right?
Of course you can.
Oh, okay. It was filming for Ovation TV for the show called
The Art of.
The Art of, and it was The Art of Burlesque this week. And so they were filming a special show at the Monday Night Teas, and they were filming all the dancers, and they were filming Lily. And Lily was the hostess with the mostess. And I have never seen Lily better than I saw her the other night. Not just in her hosting capacity, where she had the room at Rapt Attention, but she also danced, and she did an act that I have not seen. And it was dirty and funny. And I've talked about burlesque on here before, and you know the difference when you see someone who knows what they're doing versus someone who's maybe a neophyte or who won't give of themselves completely to the art. And Lily's act, she got a standing ovation. I mean, she tore the house down. And this is after she'd been up there already hosting, so they saw her in that capacity, and then she transforms herself into Dancer Lily, and levels the fucking building. I mean, it was so great. And it was funny. Heidi and Raquel were so excited because they actually get to see you dance, and then dance so well. I mean, it was a crusher because the Poodles number is funny, and this was interesting and funny, but also super sexy and you were into it, and you made the audience do what you wanted, which is the highest compliment you can pay a performer. So really fantastic job this week. I was happy to see it, and I'm glad you had me there. So yay.
You're not done. That was awesome. Keep going.
Oh, all right. That's fine.
No, I'm kidding. Thank you very much. That's very kind of
It was the best I've ever seen you. And we were going to talk a little more about, you said you wanted tips or you want to know things. Well, I mean, I don't have much to say about that night other than you were fucking great. Sure. And then there were other people there were terrific as well. Sheila came out and did really good. And the Candy Kane, was that her from?
Candy Von Kane from Sweden.
Candy Von Kane
I
from
can't
Sweden.
do an accent.
That was nice. Yeah, for sure, from Sweden. And so she was there, and then, Pepe LaRue and all of our favorites. Pearl Ray?
Pearl Lux.
Pearl Lux. Folks, let's talk about Pearl Lux for a second. She came out to dance, and she danced to the Pink Panther theme, but it was like the swinging fun version of it.
Yeah.
Because that's a groovy song anyway, but then, oh my God, what am I, Paul Schaefer? But she came out, and she's this well-trained, she's ballerina trained. So she came out,
On point.
and without 25 seconds in, she was on her toes and dancing on her toes, and dancing, not just like tiptoeing, dancing. And then she would drop down and do a kick and a spin, and she did burlesque on her toes in ballet slippers. It was incredible. And she was wearing the hottest lipstick. I have to find a girl to just wear it just so I can kiss them over and over. It's red glitter lipstick. I mean, I'm sure it's just for stage or it's trashy or
Best.
I don't care. I do not care.
Yeah.
No, if I'm there, I want to. You know what? I will make out with a girl with that fucking makeup on and at the end of it, I just want to look like I ate a stripper. That's what I want to look like.
What's it look like?
Just this
afterwards?
bloody face of fucking glitter. It was so fucking amazing. Because I was in the back of the room, and I again, there was something about her where I was compelled to watch, and her face, because her face is beautiful. Her body's amazing, and then she's doing the great dance moves and that lipstick. Jesus Christ! And I'm a coin flip anyway. So it was amazing. The whole show was so great. So Ovation got their money's worth. I don't know what the hell they're going to put that on. They should just run the whole show.
They can't put it on TV.
They should. Everybody had pasties on and stuff.
There's
But isn't Ovation like a Jesus channel? I have no. I have it. It's so funny. Someone's like, nobody gets that. I go, I do. It's channel 274 on DirecTV. And the only reason I know that is because it's been switched so many times that I would commit it to memory whenever it would get moved, and now it's channel 274. So good. You'll be on channel 274 on DirecTV, which is good. And then there's a Monday Night Teas this week, correct? Who's involved?
Tuba's hosting.
We know Tuba.
I have a magician, Linda Magic.
Linda
I
Maggi.
have, crap, I can't remember.
What?
Oh, Cameo from Chicago. I'm so excited to have her.
All right.
She's wonderful. She comes out of Michelle Lemoore's school and just is delightful to watch.
Sweet.
A lot of favorites. Yeah.
Cool. Is it a theme show or a regular Monday Night Teas
It's a
show?
Regular Monday Night Teas show.
Well, that's always the best. That means the theme is hot burlesque.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be this Monday. Tickets are on sale at brownpapertickets.com. You can go to MondayNightTees.com for all of the information. You can go to Facebook.com/MondayNightTees and join the group there and get all the information directly sent to you via America's Yearbook. And also, my friend Lily is hosting the Hollywood Burlesque Festival. And that is coming up in December 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. The 9th is the closing party at the Monday Night Tea. It's going to be fantastic. But there's headliners, there's competitions. Richard Simmons is signed on as a celebrity judge, I understand.
Yes.
It's good to have Richard Simmons available, and he's going to be there.
We are so delighted to have him.
Absolutely.
He truly is one of the nicest people I know. I'm
Okay.
going to work out with him again tomorrow night.
All right. And wasn't his mom a burlesque dancer or something?
Mother was a burlesque dancer in New Orleans, and he didn't know that. I read his biography recently, and apparently he had a lot of issues because his mom wasn't home, but his dad was.
Okay.
And so he grew up wondering why his mom was the breadwinner and his dad was not, and went through all of these things. But it's amazing.
So he's involved, and he's a celebrity judge.
He is.
That's fantastic. And at the Hollywood Burlesque Festival, there's swag bags they're giving away.
Yeah.
And let's talk about this for a second. Our friend Bruce at tweakedaudio.com has stepped up and kindly offered product. So there will be Tweaked Audio earbuds in every single swag bag, and we appreciate that.
I cannot wait to have Patrick the bank robber say that we have the autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds from Tweaked Audio.
Yep. I can't wait. That's going to be terrific. So because I met Bruce actually came to my show on at the Podfest, and he was like, you should sell this show, and I'm like,
Everyone thinks you should sell
yes,
it,
they
but
do. Exactly. Well, I got to get the audio and hear it.
CFO, so I can start making the financial decisions.
Yes.
For this company, 'cause I will turn this company around.
All right.
I will turn this Titanic around.
Mike Schmidt Inc. is getting there's a change at the top, folks. Well, you've already been a CFO because on you're the CEO or whatever you are. I don't know. All I know is you've argued on my behalf via email many times. So that's good news. So awesome. So the Hollywood Burlesque Festival is coming up in the swag bags. We want to thank Bruce very much because he's providing product for the swag bags. And you can go visit them at tweakedaudio.com/40 and get autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds. As we've mentioned, you can get cock ring watches. You can get gear. There's plenty of gear available. But the Hollywood Burlesque Festival at hollywoodburlesquefestival.com. You can go there and get all the information about the dates. You can check out the headliners. You can see their headshots. I've gotten a sneak preview of the program this evening. It's fucking amazing. And tickets are on sale now, and they will be, but scarp them up because they won't be available for long. Buy tickets right now for the Hollywood Burlesque Festival. Go to hollywoodburlesquefestival.com. Go to brownpapertickets.com for tickets for the Monday Night Teas, the Hollywood Burlesque Festival, all that fun stuff. Just Google Lily Von Strup's name, and you will find all of this information available on the internet. Be my friend at facebook.com/the40year-old boy. Remember, I'm coming to your town if you live in two towns. I will be in Seattle on October 19th. That's a Saturday, October 19th at the Jewel Box at the Rendezvous Theater. So go get tickets for that. Tickets are on sale now. Tickets are selling, and I appreciate that, but I'd like to sell more, folks, because, look, I'm coming to Seattle for a reason, right? And that reason is to sell tickets. No, it's to do a show. No, it's to sell tickets. And, folks, if the LA Podfest is any indication, you want to be horrified by me in person. So buy some tickets for the Jewel Box of the Rendezvous. That's Saturday, October 19th. And also, folks, I will be in Green Bay, Wisconsin on Saturday, November 4th. Again, my final performance before I am beaten to death in a parking lot at Lambeau Field on Monday the 4th. No, Monday's the 4th, where the show's the 2nd. God, am I looking forward to the game more than a show? No, that's not true. But our friend, our friend Tom Packner just bought some tickets to see me in Green Bay, and every time I'm in Milwaukee, he buys them, and that's nice of him. Thank you, Tom. Looking forward to seeing you there, sir. So that's November 2nd, Saturday, November 2nd. I will be in Green Bay at the Green Room Lounge. Tickets are on sale now, and that's we're a month out from that, or even a little less than a month, maybe 3 weeks. Who knows? But it's coming soon. So get those tickets, and like I said, it is the last show before I am killed at Lambeau, so you definitely want to be there. And then they will just raise my bloody jersey high over the Green Room Lounge on Tuesday morning because my friend Jill and I will be going to the game, and I'm hoping that she protects me from all of these villains. That's right, villains. I call the Green Bay fans villains. Because she's really the only thing that's going to keep me alive. She's like 5'0" in a Green Bay jersey. I may just hold her up like a shield and just like work our way to the car. Because it's not going to hurt her. She's too gorgeous and fucking tiny. And I'll just be like, ha, you didn't see this giant idiot behind her. And then we'll get in the car and drive away. So tickets available now at brownpapertickets.com for both of those shows, Seattle and also for Green Bay. And then I'm looking for other cities in 2014. And I'd like to go to places that I haven't been. So if you have any suggestions, that'd be great. I know a guy was talking about Nashville, Tennessee. There's all sorts of places that I can look into. There's all sorts of cities in the world, folks. Who knows how it's going to work out? But I would love to come to your town and horrify you with filth. So that'll be coming up soon, I hope. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Go to the Joe Business page. All sorts of stuff there, folks. We've got shirts. We've got Schmidty Comes Alive download. We got the For the Life of Schmidty download. We've got artwork available to you. People who have outstanding artwork orders, Paul and Nicole. I have just talked to David today, and he thinks he's going to get to them this week. Thank you for your patience. We appreciate it very much. Of course, we're selling the CD, The Big Angry, is available right now. If you don't have it, please pick it up. It's available at Amazon. It's also available at aspecialthing.com or astrecords.com. But if you buy it through me, you can get an autographed copy. It's a little bit more, but you get some green ink on there, folks. Who doesn't want green ink on their CD? So go there and check it out. So we have the Big Angry CD. We've got shirts. We've got artwork. We've got tweakedaudio.com/40 earbuds and cock ring watches. We've got the Amazon store. Make sure you click through and buy all your stuff. Our friend Erica, who I've mentioned before, she sent me a note. She's like, here's all the things I bought on Amazon through your thing. Make sure you're getting the money. And then she bought a toothbrush and a comb and a hat and a blanket. I think she's just buying stuff to buy stuff so I get the credit for it. But good for her. I appreciate it, Erica. Thank you so much. I have to look into that. And then she wrote me back and she's like, oh, wait, they don't keep track of everything. So I hope you're getting the money. It's okay. I'm sure I'll get the money. I don't think Amazon's going to try to phase me out. I got to be honest. I don't think the hash browns that run Amazon are going to be very upset with me. They're going to, if you're going to trust anybody, you're going to trust a solid breakfast food that runs a big corporation, folks. So go there and look at that and buy those things and all that stuff at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. And I will love you forever. That seems strong. And now I'm out, man. It's like midnight and Lily's got so much fucking work to do and she's getting sick as it is. And I got to work in the morning and, oh, Christ. Late starts are not fun. And I got to schlep to my car. I had to park like 9 blocks away. But the good news is I get to my car and I get to put on my Bluetooth. And this is funny. I have a Jawbone Era, E-R-A, Bluetooth. And it's fancy and nice, and I like it. But for some reason, mine broke, and I had to send it because it bricked. So I had to go get a new one. And they were like really fucking, the customer service was amazing. They were so cool. Send it, we'll send you a new one. They did. I repackaged the old one. And they said, you know what, and don't forget that we have a website where you can update the software. And I'm like, update the software? Because that doesn't mean any sense. It just goes in my ear, and I talk to people. So I plugged it into my laptop, and magically the Jawbone thing came up, and I had to form an account, and it said, it's got all these updates for you, and it started updating my Bluetooth. I'm like, I didn't even know it was a computer. Go ahead. So at the end of it said, choose the voice on your Bluetooth. And it had like a nerdy guy and a normal person, and then it was like, but it just said hot girl. Because normally when you turn on your Bluetooth, it'll say Bluetooth is pairing. But I downloaded the hot chick, and she goes, I'm on and ready to go. Yeah, she does. I wish I could put it up to the fucking... there's no way you'll hear it on the microphone. But it's... So I find myself, I'll just be turning it off and on and putting it in my ear to hear her say that over and over. Because this is the thing. She's the hot girl. And then when you push a button, it'll say, about 4 hours of talk time remaining. But those are the only things she says. Like, I can't find some secret phrase. Like, I want to turn it on and have her just go, I want to sit on your cock while you're talking on the phone. You know what I mean? That would be perfect for me. If she would just say that, I'm like, yes, I am. human lunch meat. I'm nobody. I'm baloney in pants. God damn it. Why do I think I'm somebody special? Why do I think I'm anybody interesting? I'm not. All I bring to the table is everything that everybody else does, but louder. Don't hit snooze on me, motherfucker. I am a hilarious noise machine. I'm going to tell you this. You need to sit down and reevaluate your life if you can pull 2 midget Indian wrestlers out of your skull at any time. You know what? I don't even need you people here. Seriously, I do this. I love me. I don't give a fuck what you think, how you think. God damn it, I'm the greatest. I can't go for Schmidt. No, no. No can do. 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 No can do.